Okay, I ran out of storage. So yeah, I just blamed. During that time, I blamed. I had a lot less power as a person. A lot less, you know, confidence and power, and control over my action. Not my actions, but control over things in my life, like going for a walk, or I just was more thrown into the abuse and so many self-hating thoughts, and thinking that it was all my fault, or thinking it was mostly my fault, and not telling others of the abuse that was happening, or when I did tell others and nothing really came of it. Like when I told my school counselor of the abuse, nothing really came of it. I forgot his name. He was like a black guy. He was cool, but he I don't know why nothing came of it. It's because I told him about. I think I went into pretty much somewhat graphic detail about all of the abuse I was going through at that time, and before. But I don't think he called CPS or did anything about it, really. And yeah, that teacher kicked me. Miss Novello kicked me out because I came to school on the last day, because it was like I finally was able to, I was able to get myself to actually go to school, because it was like the last day and I could at least say goodbye to everybody and at least have a little bit of time, a little bit of fun time at school. And yeah, she said it was a slap in the face that I went there on the last day, and she kicked me out. And I tried to say goodbye to people and she hurried me out. I believe that she hurried me out when I was trying to say goodbye to people. And I really just have a sense of rage boiling inside right now, just talking about it. Because I don't understand. I guess I just wouldn't do that if I was in her position. I don't think I would, because there's a reason why. As not only like an adult, but if you work with children, or work with children, minors, middle schoolers like that, you should know that this comes from a place of mental struggle, and possibly other things happening in that person's life. That's the reason for why they might be acting out at school, or not going to school, or not doing schoolwork. And yeah, to say it was a slap in the face to that person, who I guess, and she didn't realize, like, if she knew how much I was struggling, I don't know if I was suicidal at that point, or like really thinking about suicide, but I was definitely just in a state of so much suffering. I feel like if she knew that, then I guess I don't think she would do that. But she didn't know that. She didn't take that into consideration, how much I could be struggling. And so she told me, she bent down into my face, like face to face, and said it's a kind of a slap in the face that I was being there. And she said, and she talked with, I think she talked with Vasa, the guy that I just showed, and or she talked to Mr. Baumgartner or somebody, and they agreed about kicking me out on the last day, And so they did, in front of everybody. And it's not that kicking me out in front of everybody is what I was really angry about, or hurt about. It's just the fact that they kicked me out in any scenario. Like, I wasn't being there to be hostile. I just wanted to be there to at least say goodbye to my friends, and find, any comfort I could, I guess. And then, but they kicked me out, made me walk out the campus, and I saw some people. Some kids in my grade, as I was walking out, and I looked at them through the gate, and I said, said something like bye, or it was like I said something like it's nice knowing you, or you know, it was nice spending time with you or something. I waved at them and I just said bye to them. And then this guy named not Gershon, Gervin, yeah, this guy named Gervin, and then some other like his other like friend group like Nirwan and everybody. But like this guy named Gervin, like I like because I didn't have anybody else really to say goodbye to, because she really focused on escorting me out quickly, I guess to shame me or something, or just get me out of the picture. And so I just waited at them and I said goodbye. It was nice seeing you or nice knowing you, or I said like see you later or something. And then Gervin like laughed at me and made fun of me to his friends. Like he said, huh, and then like made a joke about me to his friends or something. And so that didn't help my feelings at that time. So I'm still struggling with that. I'm still struggling that like, but the reason I brought that up is because of specifically the email that I just showed you by Vasa that he wrote me in 2023, and to say that he went beyond what was expected from him. You know, he went past his job. He bought me shoes that I didn't wear. He bought me shoes, like cheap shoes, but like I guess because the shoes I was wearing was really like small on me or something, and like he could see that, or like they were really beat up, like the soles were completely gone. Like I think I had holes in them. But the thing is, when he bought me those shoes, someone else I knew that I played basketball with, he gave me like Jordans, or I think my parents finally bought me shoes like at the same time that Vasa bought me his like cheap like $30 Nike type shoes. And so I didn't wear the shoes really at school, and when I did wear them, I cut, so they had like spikes at the back of the shoes, and I cut them to like make them more comfortable. And then my mom was like really shamed me about cutting the shoes, like the back. There's like two spikes at like the heels, like it dug into my heels and made it really uncomfortable, especially like when I bent, like extended my ankle. And my mom really like screamed at me and shamed me for cutting the shoes, and how you know, Dr. Loctive, Miss Vasa is not going to like me anymore, and you know, I ruined it and I ruined everything. And at that time, I didn't. At that time, I was more, you know, trying to be less and less involved with my mom and have her less and less in my life and listen to her and be around her less and less. But I think I was still much more, even subconsciously, I was still much more believing every word that she said, to abuse me or to hurt me. And that really fucked with me. Even though, and I think Vasa made a comment about the shoes or something, and so I don't know, but he did stuff like that. Like he went to my house one morning to and he probably asked me like, why are you? He probably asked me throughout the 2 years I was at Leading Edge, like, why are you not going to school? You know, why are you like? I think I got into like physical altercations, which. Like I never really got into a fight, and the thing was I got into so many like physical altercations, but the thing is like none of them were my fault. Like none of them, I think I accidentally turned around and hit a guy with a ball or something, and like he thought I hit him like on purpose, and I guess like I didn't realize how hard I hit him, or that he took offense to me hitting him. So I kind of like was like, and I think I like made a joke. Like, oh, watch out, or like I think I honestly just like accidentally, like I swung around and accidentally hit him with like a bounce, like one of those dodgeballs. I swung around and like accidentally hit him because it was in my arm. And yeah, I hit him. I think I might have said my fault or my bad, but the point is he thought I hit him on purpose or something, and he told, which is like it's okay, like um I didn't mean to hit him, I didn't mean to hurt him. But he told him that was like a physical altercation. Then there was another guy, King, who was, I think I was in I was in seventh grade. He was in eighth grade. And he was like a mega freaking. He was like 6'4" or something, and I was talking shit to him playing pickleball, and then he came up to me and like, kind of like choke slammed me, he like we got up into our face. He got up into my face, and we started like talking shit about each other. I was like, "What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?" And then he meanwhile, this guy's like this big black dreadhead. He was like standing over me, freaking super senior. And then he he took his hand, and I got in trouble for that. I don't remember how I got in trouble for that, but he like full on hit me, like grabbed me by my throat and like hit me, like sent like half grab, but half like strike to the throat. And then like he walked away, and I told Mr. Shane, and then I somehow got in some type of trouble for that, which was so strange. I think I got in trouble for that because of other physical altercations. Another physical altercation was I was playing basketball with and I'm bringing these up because like these are not my fault. Like I don't oh god. Another physical altercation I got to was with this guy named Thomas when we were playing basketball, and I didn't really know how to play, and I think I was fouling him. I was like fouling him too hard, or I was fouling him on defense or something, and I wasn't meaning to like foul him or like grab him, but I don't think I even was really, but he like all of a sudden I was guarding him, or he was guarding me, and then he started he started hitting me and like ripping my shirt open, and so I started pulling on. No, he like pulled my chain and started ripping my shirt, and so I think I started pulling his shirt and ripping his chain, and then he like ripped my shirt open, so and it was like in front of the entire school. He like ripped my Mickey Mouse shirt wide open, so that like my stomach was all hanging out, and I ripped his shirt and chain. And I think I got in trouble for that as well. Like, when I guess I don't know. But I don't I didn't really get in trouble for that, but it just counted as a physical altercation, even though he started it. And like I probably wasn't even fouling him on defense hard. I don't even know if I was fouling him, or I might have been fouling him hard. But like he literally started ripping my chain off. And I think I lost that chain too. It was very important to me. That chain was like a turtle chain, and it was really cool. And I think I found that at that school actually, and I asked everybody if that was theirs, and I just took it because it was nobody's, or it might have been from my grandma. But yeah, I got my shirt ripped open, and I think he might have punched me, or I might have punched him or something. And some other physical altercations that just either the other person started it, or I started it, or like something happened, but like just weren't even my fault in the slightest. Or leading up to it, I might have like done something without knowing it, and then that offended them, and then they started something. But the point is, I got into all these physical altercations, and because they just said like, oh, you got into something, this number of physical altercations, they just started blaming me for more stuff. And I guess like my perceived reputation and like how much they believed me on stuff went down. But they also like said like, you have got into so many physical altercations, you're gonna get expelled or suspended if you get into more physical altercations, something like that. Meanwhile, did I ever start a physical altercation? Like other than accidentally hitting the guy with the dodgeball. Like I didn't. By the way, I didn't throw it at the guy. Just like I had it in my hand and I was like whipping around, because I was like spinning or something, or I was like dancing, and I accidentally hit the dude on the head, and then I think I said something after. Like I guess that I said something like, because I was I might have said something like, "Oh, watch out, bro," or like, because I was nervous. I think how it went is I swung the ball, I hit the guy, and I panicked in my mind. I was like, "Oh my god!" So I was like, "Oh, watch out, bro!" Like I said something like that to like try to make a joke or be funny or like pretend I was like confident in that situation. Meanwhile, I was just like really anxious, and I might have said something like that or like made a joke or like a joke like that I was like a bully or something. I don't even no, but I don't think I did. I think I literally I think I said my bad or something. I have a lot of brain fog, a lot of blocked out memories, memory problems from my trauma. So I can't tell you. I mean, I don't remember exactly how that situation went down. But anyways, uh, yeah. Point is, Vasa like probably came to me and I remember him coming to me and just asking something like, "Why don't I go to school?" And I just said I wasn't feeling good or something, and I was faking being sick so much at the time. Oh god, and my mom was like constantly screaming at me, knowing because she knew I was faking being sick, but she also allowed it to happen as long as she was able to just scream at me through all the hours of the day. Oh gosh. And at this time I still wanted to have a relationship with her, so I was still like wanted to spend time with her. Meanwhile, she was like insulting me like no one will ever love you, uh, telling me to get out of her face, get away from her, screaming at me. Oh my god, it was just complete torturous. This is around the time she threatened to rape me too, I think, you know, because that was when I was like, 12 to 13, 11 to 13 probably is when she threatened to rape me. And when she really physically, like literally physically attacked me so many times. We got into so many altercations. And then when we got into those altercations, it was always my siblings who said, "You should never hit a woman. You should never." And my 30-year-old brother and my 20-something-year-old sister, like literally shaming me, insulting me. "You should never hit a woman. Don't ever hit a woman. Don't, especially your mom. What is wrong with you? Don't hit your mom." Meanwhile, she would literally get drunk and high on prescription drugs and literally attack me. Um, that pisses me off. But there were other times where, like one time, my 30-year-old brother, and I keep saying his age because he should be, by his age, he should be like, oh, he's mature. He's been through a lot of the things that I've been through. So he should be like, trying to help me, right? Or trying to get me away from the abuse. But instead he insults me and tries to control me and tries to gaslight me that I'm the problem. So that's why I don't talk to him anymore. But there was this one time where my mom was just like literally, I don't even remember what it was, but I just remember it just like literally like feeling like I was caving in on myself. She was like, and I hated it. Every time I got into one of these things where she insults me and just berates me and just knows she getting me. She laughs and smiles like she's like so sad. It's like she's turned on by the fact that she's really getting to me and making me suffer. And there was this one time where she was like that, and she was probably drugged or like not drugged. Like the thing is when she gets on when she takes drugs or takes prescription drugs too much, or she takes drugs that aren't hers, or she gets other prescription drugs from my grandparents, or when she drinks, it's never like she turns into a different person. It's never like, oh, that's just how she gets when she's drunk. Like no, she's the same person, just without a filter, and she just like caves into her desires of hurting other people and hurting me more. So I remember one time, because this is a physical altercation, which she didn't actually start. I think she might have been physically abusing me before this time in the day, but this time she was on her bed and it was because she was blasting music and I couldn't sleep. And so I came in like, please stop blasting music. And she said like, okay, 5 more songs. And then she insulted me. And I went in her room 20 times during the night asking her to please turn down the music, especially because she took this room. My sister moved out for like a year or something, and she took this room. She always used to blast music. And so I punched her, She like saying, punch me, punch me. She's like, what are you gonna do, you little bitch, or something like that? You're gonna punch me? You don't have the fucking balls or something. And she might have hit me or something. And I punched her in her chin. And I was like 11 or 12, or maybe a little bit younger, maybe a little bit older. And I punched her. She like went back. She didn't get knocked out, but she went back. And I just left the room. I can't even describe how, like, it's indescribable. I don't even want to try to describe how horrible these experiences were all my life growing up and living here, being so abused by my mother and family members. It's just a level of horribleness that is kind of indescribable, and it's just a level of complete and utter, not only hopelessness, but just there's a sense of like self-betrayal that's like I feel whenever I go back to these memories. There's always a sense of like I lost a part of myself in each and every time I got abused like this, and especially when I was much younger and I was really getting physically abused. What is this line right here? Is that? Oh, I think that's hair. I got like a weird line of hair, I think. Can't really see. It's like I'm in the black and white filter, but yeah, I punched her, and she was like drunk and high and whatever. But again, it's not. She doesn't change into a different person. That's way too. She doesn't change into a different person when she's drunk or high. She's just more unfiltered and more, and just likes. She goes into her dark desires more, you know. Dark Desires. Where have I heard that before? I think that's the name of a video game. And so I punched her because she was saying like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? Punch me, you little bitch," or something. And it's horrible. And she would always say like, she'd always like, I guess I'm really hung up on like the sexual stuff, the sexual abuse that she would threaten me, because she would always say like horrible. She'd always accuse me of being like sexual and like, I don't know. She'd always accuse me of like sexually like liking her or something, like, or like sexually liking fighting with her, or like some weird thing. And like I'd be in my room like jerking off, and she'd go in because I didn't have a lock on my door. She'd go in and like and see that I was jerking off or something, and then I had a blanket over, but like she went in and then like started like laughing at me and like just screaming through the house like, "Oh, what are you doing, jerking off?" and just shaming me about it. It's that type of abuse that happens that I'm like really stuck on, because it's just so insane. But anyways, I punched her this one time. She went back, and then my brother came in the next day and said, and my brother came in the next day because like, apparently she called my brother and said like, "Oh, he hit me," and my brother came in and said, and I knew I was in trouble because I hit my mom, right? You know, not you know, I wasn't thinking about, and I was just in, after I hit her, I went in my room and I was just so ashamed of myself. And I knew I was in trouble, and I knew I just was such a terrible person, and I knew I was just like, I really was deserving of all this abuse I was going through because I hit her and everything. So my brother came over, and I knew he was gonna scold me and whatever. So he came over and he said, and he came over, my brother came over to the house, and he said, we had a serious conversation, and I was like, okay, I know I shouldn't have done it. I'm very sorry. It won't happen again. And he was like, I know the pain you're going through, or like something like this, but you never, ever hit your mother. You never ever hit your mother. And just he really was just like, really, you know, shaming me and scolding me about it, which like it's just it's when you look at it from an outside perspective, like from the actual side of truth, it's so insane how, like, I don't know where this whole thing of the entire family being so manipulated by themselves and just not seeing the truth. But it's so insane that my mother, who possibly sexually assaulted me in the past, who's threatened to rape me, who's shamed me about sexual stuff, who's shamed me about who I am as a person, who's shamed me saying I just insulted me, and has been like such like she's not a bad person. Nobody's a bad person, but such a malicious uh likes that she's malicious type of person, and likes hurting other people. And it's been like this for all of my siblings and for me growing up. And it's so crazy that the entire family, I'm not sure where it started. It probably started with my grandparents. And how I think it started with my grandparents and even before my grandparents is because my relatives, my cousins, are also fucked up, and I've told them about all the abuse, and they've done jack shit other than blame me, of course, or pretend that they care, which really fucking hurts. Um, so that's why I think it started with my grandparents, you know. But it's so crazy how like an entire group of people is so just fucked up, you know? So incredibly rotten down to like the core, you know. Not that, and I don't, and not none of my family, none of anybody, nobody's inherently a bad person. Nobody is like inherently at their core a bad person. Period. It's somehow something, a rock got turned over, somebody met somebody, like relatives away, like generations before my grandparents, somehow, and through some sort of coincidences, some sort of thing happening, through generational curses and generational trauma, it all trickled down to a cycle of abuse and a cycle of wrongness, and untruthfulness through all of my family members. And it's really just, and that's the type of thing that really hurts, because that's the type of thing that makes me think like I might be the problem, or I might be the one person that's actually wrong. But if you look at it from an actual outside perspective, and if you looked at it from a completely neutral perspective, not choosing my side, not choosing any other side, and you saw the events happening, and you know what the events were about, you would understand of how fucked up this is, and the abuse that's happened to me, and just the insanity of everyone being so misguided, and all of this shit happening to me, and just zero accountability anywhere. And I honestly don't, like, it's crazy how I'm not in, like, I'm granted I'm going through so much struggles inside my head that is connected to this, and is like from this, or from my inner reaction to all this abuse that's happening and has happened. But I'm not sure why or how I'm the one person who kind of sees all this, or not so much sees all this, because there's other family members, kind like deep down everybody knows what's happening, but I'm the only person who seems to, I guess, want to come to terms with that, and wants to accept that, I guess. I guess I'm the only person in my family that doesn't want violence and doesn't want to abuse other people. Um, and that's crazy to say, but it's truthful. Um, and that's what makes me think like this is really just set up for me to have this experience. Like that's what makes me think me being the one person in all of my family, whether it be relatives, whether it be primary family, like my actual family, I'm the one person who can see all this shit happening and like is awake, you know? And I'm at the same time, I'm like, it's not that it's really like it's making things better, but it's not that it's really making things better because I still have suicidal thoughts. I still have a feeling like I could snap. Like if I keep interacting with my family, then I could snap and, potentially kill somebody or kill myself or just mess the house up. There's and the thing is like I've had blow-ups recently, and that's how I know this is getting really urgent for me to really get out of here. I've had blow-ups, because I had for like years. I haven't had violence. I haven't attacked anything or done anything physical to anything in the house because of anger. I've really been extremely self-controlled and extremely like growing about that. But there's been 3 times where in the past month, and it's all happened in the past month, where I have gotten violent. And not violent, I haven't hurt anybody. It's never been against anybody. But the 3 times all involve my dog Simon and my insecurity about Simon. Not insecurity, insecurities, but fears and extreme worry and stress about Simon because he gets abused and neglected at this house, and I want to get him to a safer home, and I want to get him to the vet, and no one in my family takes him, even like me asking them and them agreeing to take him and then them going back on it, even though it's free. I want to get him to a safer home. He's getting neglected and abused here, and my past dog Gracie really, I wasn't able to save her, and I have so much guilt and shame over that. I wasn't able to save her during her last months here. She got so incredibly mistreated and abused during her final months by my mother, and I wasn't able to save her. Like my mother would give her enemas, like neglect her. She like my dog kind of was really struggling to walk because she was getting sick, and my mom, out of some mentally ill reason, she started giving her she started giving my dog painkillers, which like dog painkillers or even painkillers that our past cat, which the vet specifically told her not to do. She started doing that. She started giving that dog enemas, like forcible enemas, even when the vet told her not to do that, and that was actually hurting Gracie. My mother continued to do that and other probably abusive things to her out of, I guess, I'm not sure why she would do that. I'm not sure why she abused Gracie so much at the end of her life, other than some weird mixture of maliciousness and then also weird mixture of anxiety and pain that Gracie was dying, and I guess she wanted to help her, but also she wanted to cause Gracie suffering as well. So, and I wasn't able to save my dog Gracie, from all of the abuse she went through in her final months alive. So, I don't want that happening to my dog Simon, especially because my dog Simon already has many medical issues that will continue to get worse and that are hurting him. Like his pads are like cracked to shit, like stuff. Like, it feels like it looks like they have dirt stuffed inside of the cracks. His claws look like they're split open and have dirt shoved inside of them. Like, and there's like, I don't even know how to explain it. I might put a picture up if I edit this video, but there's like, he has like cracks, or like his claws are split open from the bottom, right? And it looks like they have dirt shoved inside of them. And it's very hard to distinguish what of his paws and claws and hair and what is him and what is packed dirt inside of those areas. And I fear that there's so much packed dirt and packed junk inside of his pads and cracks in his pads and wounds and claws that it's almost more packed dirt than like his actual like claws and pads, because and every time I try to take it out, he bites me or he growls at me or he doesn't let me take the dirt out. He has fleas. He has a wound on his balls, which like was leaking pus, and it seems to get better now, thankfully. He has a wound, but he still has a wound on his balls that was like leaking green pus, and now he has like a bump on his balls, and I think he has other. It almost looks like it's infected. He has fleas. He's never been to the vet. 99% positive. He's never been to the vet. He has he's not, yeah, because we got him from his past owners, which I got him from. Saw him on the street. He was a runaway. He was like a stray. So they picked him up, and then I picked him. They contacted me, or we contacted each other through a middle source, which was the same guy that gave me the shoes that I was talking about that I wore instead of Vasily Loktiv's shoes. And and this was after Gracie died, and I was really struggling, and I had nobody, and so I really wanted a dog, and I just wasn't thinking about the abuse that he was going to be put through, and I honestly believe that my family would take him to the vet and take care of him at least a little bit, and not completely mistreat him and neglect him. And I guess I blinded myself, and I didn't realize how bad this situation was. And during that time, I also didn't realize how badly I was getting abused as well. So I got him, and they said that they've never taken him to the vet. He's probably never been to the vet. So he doesn't have any of his shots, or almost positive, unless like he was somebody else's dog. They took him to the vet, and then he ran out or something, and then became a stray, and then his last owners saw him, and then his last owner saw him, and then took him, and then his last owner just didn't know that he was taken to the vet before, but that's very unlikely. So let's just say he's never been to the vet. So he's never been to the vet. He's got no shots, no rabies shots, no nothing shots, and then not only with he injured his hip, which was kind of my fault a little bit, but not really my fault, because I was trying to learn how to drive, and I asked Mom if she could watch or get in the car and teach me to drive around the block, and she for some reason she wanted to bring Simon, and I guess I stepped on the brakes too hard, and Simon jumped forward in the back seat and hurt his hip, and he was really limping around, and he really hurt his hip, and thankfully he doesn't look too bad anymore. He doesn't walk around with the limp too bad, but it's a thing where like it will get worse, and I know it will get worse. It's just so tragic, dude. It's so tragic. He my mom gets drunk and gets probably high on prescription pills or whatever, and she takes Simon on walks without a leash on, and he almost always runs off. And when I actually noticed that when I saw the wound on his balls, I noticed that was like right after he came home from a walk and he was limping, and then I looked at it and I saw the big, like, a gash in his balls. So and now he's got like a lump now on his balls, like not like in a kind of a different spot, but he's got a lump, and then because that wound is kind of healing up now. It's still there, it's still like proportional, it's still very big on him, but like proportional for a human sized body to a dog body, it's still very big, but it's healing up. But now there's like different areas around that area which is like getting infected or is like weird, and then there's like almost what might be a tumor on his balls that's like growing from like the inside. But yeah, so my mom takes him on walks, and it's so fucking abusive, because whenever I'm with my dog or try to get him, she always like screams like, "Don't hurt him! Don't hurt Simon! Please don't hurt him!" And I saw him on a walk, and I saw it, like, I was walking and I saw that it was at nighttime, and I didn't know that she took Simon on a walk, and I just seen my mom screaming, "Simon, Simon!" And I saw them, and Simon was off leash, like he was by her, but he was by her, but he was off leash, and I was like, "Is he trained? Like, he's not trained off leash. Can you please put him on the leash? Can you please put him on the leash?" And he was like, and she was drunk, and he's like, "Well, he's gonna listen to me, you know. He doesn't listen to you. He doesn't trust you. He's scared of you," or something like that. And I was like, "If he saw a cat, would he run? Would he run after it?" And she was like, if he saw a bunny, he'd run after it." And I was like, "Please put him on the leash." And so she gave me the leash, and she just like handed me the leash and then started walking home. And then when she was like 20 feet away, she like screamed very loudly, "Please don't hurt him! Don't fucking hurt him!" Like, as if I'm the one that abuses him, or I'm the one that neglects him. And she's done this multiple times, both inside the house and outside the house, screaming. And she does it because I think it might be part projection of, she knows how badly he's being treated and how badly she's abusing him and neglecting him. And so she says that to try to put the blame on me for somehow she can put the blame on me for that. I'm not sure how. But, you know, her mind works in mysterious ways that I honestly, it's not really worth diving into her mind that much, because that's just like, what's the point, you know? Her mind is so broken, and she's just such a malicious person. And also, like, that's kind of like giving her power in a way to try to explain horrible abusive behavior. But I'm not, and the point is, I'm not in a position to really try to dive deep into why she does the things she does and why she's done the things she did. But, yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, anyways, the three times I blew up was, 3 times I blew up was in the past like month or so, and it's getting very urgent, getting very serious, because I'm starting to get really, like, feel like I'm going to snap eventually, like and either hurt somebody here or hurt myself, um, or like kill somebody here, kill my mom, and like just like if I just snap and if it gets to a situation where like my dog gets hurt, like really badly hurt by one of my family members, um, or because they didn't take him to the vet when it was free and when they were completely able to, then that could really get me into a, a, a state where I fucking kill one of them, or it's either I kill one of them or kill them, or I hit them, or I like just completely destroy the house up, or I kill myself. So yeah. And that's and the reason, and I'm getting that feeling. That feeling was always more so the feeling of killing myself has been in the back of my mind for like a year, going on a year at this point. Because of just it's like if things continue to keep going wrong, and I said this in the video about killing myself that I recorded like a month ago, like, and that feeling that I described in that video was at a lesser state at that time because I had more options and things and more hope. But now it's to a point where it's much stronger now, to the point where I'm getting closer to one of those scenarios happening. And it started with me throwing tantrums, and either like the first time, and these are what the three scenarios are where I became violent. Not violent like I hurt anybody or attempted to hurt anybody. Well, actually no, four times, which I became violent. First time I actually did hurt somebody. Not like, kind of like attempted to hurt somebody, but 4 times in the past. One time was about 2 months ago. The other 3 times were in the last month, last month or month and a half or so. The first time was when Simon really hurt his hip when my mom was showing me how to drive or something, and she took Simon in the back seat and he hurt his hip because I slammed on the brakes too hard or something, and my mom was screaming in the car. And point is, Simon hurt his hip, and I said, like, we need to go to the hospital. We need to take him to the vet. Can we take him to the vet? Please, can we take him to the vet tomorrow? Please. And she said no. And then she said, like, she started completely blaming me for injuring Simon by slamming on the brakes too hard, and I hurt his hip, and she started blaming me and saying like I was pathetic and saying like I'm the reason for all of this, and I just heard a door slamming. That really hurt. But anyways, she started saying like I was the reason for Simon getting hurt, and really and just screaming and just not helping. Simon was really scared because she was screaming, and I was just trying to get him on the bed so that I could, because if she could help Simon or do something, because I thought he was badly hurt, and somehow he's that boy is so freaking strong. Like he's strong as heck, dude. Like somehow he's got, even though he's got really hurt, very injured paws and cracks in his pads and everything, and he hurt his hip. He's somehow walking and running very good right now. He somehow recovered, and he's definitely still got issues from that. He's still got unresolved injuries, but he's in a good spot right now. But I need to do something very quickly and very urgently. So what was I going to say? And in saying this now, bringing up these scenarios that I'm saying in this video is really, this is a good thing to do because it's really getting me into a state of like I need to do something urgently, like really urgently. So yeah, Simon and basically this interaction, this violent interaction or tantrums, violent thing, she like said, go get bags of ice to put on Simon's hip or whatever, and she was like screaming at me like the most abusive shit, and it was so painful because my dog is in the background suffering and needing help and needing assistance and comfort and needing comfort, and meanwhile all my mom cares about is blaming the whole thing on me and trying to make it as chaotic as possible and not even thinking really about helping Simon. So she just says, get a bag of ice, and she's insulting me and fucking say, oh yeah, she said I'm gonna give him Gracie's painkillers or the old dog's Smokey's painkillers or something like that. And Smokey was a dog that also got horribly abused by my family members. But I was very young. She died when I was like, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 8. And I just remember her getting so abused by members of my family. But oh my god, it's so horrible because it's oh my gosh, dude. And the part which really infuriates me is how horrible my sister is in all of this, and the fact that she is such an abuser, not only to the animals, but to me as well. And just growing up with this, and it's something where the age where she was abusing me so incredibly much, and the age where she was abusing Smokey, and just really fucking being a horrible person to me. And no one's a bad person inherently, no one's a bad person deep down, but really being horribly malicious and just a horrible person to me. She was at those ages where she was and hitting me and ages where like she was throwing shit at me and really abusing me. At those ages, she was my age now. Like I would be like at those ages, she was like 16, she was like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And I'm 16. Isn't that fucking insane? I would never. It's just insane how people can. How did she not like realize of like how am I so much ahead of her in my journey? In the journey of. And maybe if I had a younger cousin or I mean a younger sibling, maybe I would have been abusive to them just like Brandon's abusive to me. Maybe it's because I was never thrown into that scenario where I could be extremely abusive to a younger sibling, but I don't think I would have done that. And what's really infuriating is that she was my age now when she was doing some of the worst abuse. And I guess like it's really infuriating that knowing that she I guess some people are just don't mature like fast or something. But then again, she also had her own shit that she was dealing with mom, and she probably got manipulated at a younger. I don't even know. I don't know. I'm not even. I don't want to guess because I don't know how she was able to be so old, but also be such an incredibly abusive person, and still is an incredibly abusive person. But especially back then, how she was able to be my age now and still such a malicious and wanting to spread hate type of person to her younger sibling. I don't think if I was in her shoes I would do anything like that. Anything of the level of abuse that she's done to me. And it's the fact that she still has zero accountability for any of that. But yeah, I've learned that I'm actually really stuck up about, not like, I'm really stuck on the fact that, and it's something that I've been thinking about so much, is just the fact that she was my age now when she was doing all this incredible abuse to me. And the fact that she's like 23 now, and she's still such an abusive, neglectful person. She's such an abusive, narcissistic asshole of a person that not only to me now, which is I'm fine with, it's like cool, but to Simon, which is just so incredibly retarded to me that she's so it's like I guess she would just what no that doesn't make sense because my mom used to always bring up stories about how my sister used to like be friendly with bugs and like and like she would like play with caterpillars, and it's like how does that type of person like just morph into a person which is so untrue to herself that she's now in a position where she just doesn't give a fuck about other people, and she doesn't give a flying fuck about animals especially. But that's who she is. You know, I just hope that she recovers, you know, and she finds her true self eventually. But that's who she is right now. That's who she's choosing to be, and it's so fucking crazy because she likes this life. She loves the abuse. She loves all of this life because she's still 23 years old and she hasn't gotten out of here. Insanity. And that's kind of but also that might give me like a god complex or like a god complex because. But in reality, I just heard her slam her door. That was so fucking. See, it's that stuff which really fucking pisses me off, and just really sends a jolt of fear up my body just hearing doors slamming. What was I talking about? Yeah. Anyway, so my mom in the occurrence where I'm talking about where I did get violent, it was like about 2 months ago. My mom was screaming at me. I was just trying to get help for Simon. Saying, please, can we please take him to the vet tomorrow? Please take him to the vet. Begging. I was literally begging. And I never raised my voice at her. Never, ever, ever raised my voice at her. In the past couple years, I've just... Because I noticed that not only is that saying... That is her having power over me when I decide to raise my voice at her. It's not like never, ever. I have raised my voice. I've screamed. But I rarely scream. Because I know that she gets some sick, twisted enjoyment out of that, and it's because that's giving her power, right? It's giving the abuser power, screaming and you know, getting physical and all that. So I haven't done that, and I've been so disciplined about that. But this time was so insane because I just wanted my dog to be safe, and I just wanted, can we please take him to the vet tomorrow? And he kept jumping down from Mama's bed on his injured hip, and I was saying like, what do we do? What do we do? And I thinking about it now, like, oh my God, like I should have just like kept him in my room and not even told her about how he hurt his hip. But I guess I was just in a state of panic and like having her and be like, what are we doing? Because she's the adult, you know, she has access to the vet. She has access to getting to the vet. So I was like, come on, what do we do? Can we please take him to the vet tomorrow? And she said, I think she said yes for a little bit, and then she said no because she was just trying to toy with my emotions or some shit. And she was just screaming at me and trying to blame it all on me. And just the most abusive, hurtful shit, you know. I always say like the most abusive, hurtful shit when I can't remember exactly what they said, because it was just too painful and too, you know, just too much to deal with at that time, or too much for me to remember now. So somewhere in my subconscious, my nervous system just blocked out what happened exactly. But I ended up getting this bag of ice. Simon jumped down on his injured hip. She was screaming at me, and I just threw the bag of ice at her. Just like launched it at her. It exploded. I think it hit. I think she put her hand up. I was aiming for her head, or just I wasn't really aiming for her head, but like I was kind of aiming for her head anyway. I don't know. I wasn't really. I was just aiming for her, but I was looking at her head. Or I was like I want to hit her head in that split second, but I was just aiming at her regardless. And I was aiming at her head. I guess that's I'm not trying to find the words for it, but aiming for her head is like the best way to describe it. But I just threw the bag of ice at her, and she put her hand up and it hit her hand or think or something, and the ice exploded everywhere. And then she screamed like a fucking maniac, and just like whole neighborhood probably woke up. And I was like, and it felt good in that moment. Like, oh my god, I finally got a release when I hit her with the ice bag. And so I was like, and so I went to the kitchen again to get another bag of ice. This time I wasn't even wanting to hit her. But I was like, as I was filling up the ice bag, she was continuing screaming, continuing saying. Now she was getting even more crueler, getting even more abusive. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna hit her again with this as I'm filling the bag. So I went in and I hit and I threw the bag at her again, and I missed her. But at this point, it was like, dude, I keep hearing slamming on doors. So at this point, after I threw the bag at her the second time, she said she was going to call the cops or something, and so I just was like, I just was like, made sure she wasn't going to call the cops. I was like, are you really going to call the cops? And she's like, well, if you do something like that again or whatever. And so I know this was started about the Vasiloctive email, but I might put that into a separate video, or just like, it got off topic, but I'm glad that it got off topic because I'm actually talking about stuff that really I should be remembering, and I should not be just blocking out of my memory. And just like saying this stuff is helping me put urgency on getting my goals done, of getting out of here safely and getting my dog out of here safely. So the worst scenario is if I continue to be tolerant of this horrible environment, and I continue to be tolerant, because that's what I've been doing all my life, is making excuses or putting band-aid fixes on my problems. Dude, my lips are just cracked the freak up. I got the lip balm. I just got an intrusive thought that, like, but the thing is, like, I gotta say, because it's kind of funny, but like, I probably shouldn't say this, but like, I want to be a channel where, like, any intrusive thought I get, I just say it. Oh gosh. And now that I said that, as I said any intrusive thought, I'll say it. I guess I just got like nigger in my head, like nigger and say nigger, and it's like, I'm not gonna say like that type of, like, because my mind gets to a place where, like, oh, you're going to say all these intrusive thoughts, or you want to say all these intrusive thoughts and be open about yourself and open about every thought you think. Well, here's this insanely stupid, you're a pedophile or something. I'm not going to say like that, because obviously those thoughts are wrong, or like mostly wrong. So I'm not going to say like, my mind is just going to create stuff for me to say that's like embarrassing or even untrue, or like partially true but from a place of deep insecurity, or like say like, I don't know, like my mind is just at a place where, like, when I said like, I'm going to say all these I'm going to say my intrusive thoughts, then my mind was like, with all these embarrassing things, or just things to say. But anyways, the first time when I lost my virginity, I used it with the girl, classic lip balm, and like, oh my god, it hurt so bad after, because it only lasted like 2 seconds, and then after, it just, like, it hurts so bad. So that every time I see this, I just get reminded of that, of like, because is this a common experience, losing your virginity with this, because you couldn't find like lube or anything else, so you just, like, you use this as like a last resort. Okay, anyways, back to the video. Hold on. But I want this channel to be like, one of the main things I want this channel to be, like, the main reasons. Okay, there's like a couple things of this channel that I always wanted it to be like. I wanted it, and I forgot exactly. And I made this is I talked about these things in all the videos about like why I'm successful on YouTube, why I'm getting more popular on YouTube, and just like and I talked about it in a video a couple months ago about like something like why I will be successful on YouTube. But basically what I want this channel to be about is me talking about stuff, me being open and honest about thoughts, like even all the things that I'm shameful about. I mean, all the thoughts, or most of the thoughts I get, and you know, the shameful experiences and things like that. I want that to be like a pillar, and then I want another pillar to be like where I make things that I actually want to make, and I don't make things for money or for the algorithm. I want that to be a pillar of my channel, you know, how my channel is built. And then I want it to be something, and then the other pillar, and there's more like basic things about my channel that I've always kind of wanted. The other pillar is I want it to be about someone who is in such a pile of shit in their life, and in such a hellhole, and I want it to be a video, or like a YouTube channel about how this person tunneled themselves out of this insane, horrible life, you know, that they were having, or insane, horrible mental state, or insane, horrible abusive environment. I always wanted, or I've not always wanted, but this has been like one of the core things of this YouTube channel that I've always wanted it to be, that I've wanted it to be about, is about how is documenting someone from the bottom, or near the bottom. Like if Kobe Bryant had a YouTube channel when he was like 5 years old, and he documented how he got to a point where he started beating where he went from getting 0 points the whole season to scoring on everybody in the span of like how he trained for like a whole summer on doing different skills, doing like basics, dribbling, shooting, getting to the shot, dribbling. He tells stories about that, how he spent like the whole summer of his when he was like 6 or 8, or like I think he was like 11 years old or something when he said that. He said he went from scoring literally 0 the whole season to then scoring on everybody. And that's really cool to hear. That's really inspiring. But imagine if Kobe Bryant had a YouTube channel where he documented all of his thoughts and all of his struggles at that point when he was 5 years old. Imagine Kobe Bryant and documenting how he got to the point where he was able to get better than all these other kids and improve as a person, improve his mental mind, and improve his life. That's what I want this channel to be about. I'm a 16-year-old, but I started this channel was like when I was like 15. Or I started this channel was like 13 or something. But this is I didn't start when I was 5, but or however old Kobe Bryant was when he had that experience. But I'm starting at a young age, and I want to show, and this might be egotistical, this might be just me wanting to be loved by everybody, or wanting to feel like, or wanting people to be like, oh my God, he came out of so much struggle, which I did. But maybe this might be really egotistical, but I want this channel to be about a young person who documented how they got out of the struggle, how they went from suicidal or homicidal thoughts and how they went from extremely abusive environment and those thoughts and betraying yourself, feeling like you betrayed yourself, and having all these incredible shameful thoughts, desires, incredible shameful parts about yourself and experiences, incredibly shameful things that you feel shame about. and I want to be transparent about it, all of that, and show how I got better, you know, and hopefully that can be something which inspires others. And I feel like I wish I had that, you know, I wish I had that myself right now. I wish I had Kobe Bryant when he was, I wish Kobe Bryant had a YouTube channel when he was that age and he was talking about all the struggles he was going through, and how he was training to get better as a basketball player, and how he was and what meditations he did to get better. So that's what I want this channel to be about. So I'm going to say, you know, semi-intrusive thoughts, and I have some deep shames which I don't want to talk about right now because they're just so. I did make a video where I like freestyled about like really deep, full, shameful things and really big skeletons in my closet. Should be coming out tomorrow. And I'm very scared of that video. Extremely scared of that video because of just like I just said so many things that are just like so tucked away in my soul and in my mind that are just like I'm so ashamed about, things that I'm ashamed about. And I basically like freestyled about them, or like thought of rhymes of how to like communicate what these things were. And I'm worried about that being out to the public and being out for everybody to see if anybody watched that video, which people will watch that video, or at least a little bit of the video. And then I know people are going to watch it in the future, you know, if YouTube doesn't take it down because of what I said in the video, because some things were graphic, some things that I'm ashamed about, and not like socially acceptable, you know. Some like things that I admitted, you know, but and it all comes from trauma, but still, and it all comes from, and me saying it, being like brave enough to say it to the camera or freestyle it to the camera just shows how incredibly brave I am and courageous I am. And it's something that I literally recommend to everybody. Just like say everything that the things that you're most ashamed about to the camera and just upload it to YouTube. Say, you know, the experience, the things, ways you might have hurt other people, or ways that you've hurt yourself, ways that you've betrayed other people or betrayed yourself, ways, you know, any, you know, traumatic things that you've done or experienced, and how those have changed you, like any desires or like even kinks you have, those and that you're ashamed about. You know, just say all that. Be like, literally, turn on the camera and just say it to the world. You know, you know, upload a video. It could be like what I did, like freestyling about it. Because I wasn't planning on doing that, but it transformed into that. I was just freestyling about, because I was talking about like how, you know, all these freaking rappers talk about or rap about stupid shit, retarded shit, like guns and gangs and whatever, and cool, such cool instrumental tracks, and like the track Shibuya by Ski Mask, the Slump God, or by Ski Mask. I listened to a few of his songs, and the song Shibuya is such an amazing song, and the instrumental, but he just talks about guns and shit, and it's kind of retarded, and it really dampens the song for me. And if you just changed those lyrics so that it was about more stuff that really made you think, you know, I feel like it would be a much better song. But also, like, he's the creator, you know, it's his choice, and it is a good song. I just wish that it wasn't talking about killing people and gangs and shooting up people, because it didn't need to talk about it. And I don't think does anybody actually think Ski Mask is a thug, is a gangster? I don't know, and if he is, then that's bad for him. And you know, and that mindset that I have when I said that is like, I used to think like, oh, that's cringe. Like, you're just not getting it. But if you think about it, I think I am getting it. I think I was gaslighting myself by being like, oh no, that's just the lyrics. You know, he it's conceptual, or it's like, you know, he's talking about, you know, pains because he might have grew up in the hood or something. And it's like, at a certain point, it's just retarded, you know, and it's like, why are you rapping about that shit? Like, if you are a thug and you actually kill and shoot people, then you're retarded, and get help. And if you aren't a thug and you don't shoot and kill people, then why are you making so many songs about it? When you could be like sharing stuff about your own life, and sharing like deep insecurities or deep things that you love about yours, but just why are you rapping about guns and shit? It's retarded. And I finally understood that, because I'm listening to these amazing songs, and the rapping is so good, but it's like, ugh, just, can you rap about something that is not retarded and about and negative in nature? Like, in its nature, it's negative. Like, if it was about like you came like you or like if you genuinely, or if it was conceptual, or you're rapping about shit that like you've seen on the streets and you really have trauma from, and you don't want to be like that, you want to get out of the street, but like, God, every song you fucking make is just about guns and shit, or every song that I've heard from you. And I get that it's supposed to be like, for a lot of it is supposed to be, you know, it's supposed to be funny, you know, like most of it is supposed to be funny and supposed to be just good sounding, but also funny, talking about guns and shit. But it's like, come on, man, be better, you know. But anyways, but I was just rapping. I was like, and I was talking about like, oh God, like that, like I was talking about like, it's probably so ingrained into it, and I was talking about a reason for why that happens is because everybody's listened to so much rap music, and rap is my favorite genre, like best sounding genre in my opinion. Everyone's heard of rap music, and the main thing that's known for, the main thing when you play on any average rap song is about guns and violence and shit. So when people freestyle or make songs, they're like, they go like, okay, this is what everybody raps about. It's like the collective, you know, it's like what's normalized. So people freestyle, it's what they naturally freestyle. It's going to come back to, unless you fight it, it's going to come back to guns and shooting and shit. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to freestyle. And so I started freestyling, and I was like talking about, you know, FNAF, you know, and I'm not freestyling like I was doing good, but I like freestyling. It's like, hey, I got the blue suit, I got the blue bathrobe on. I like Undertale. My favorite character is Megaton. I'm about to throw you off a building, then rain a ton of bricks on you. You got crusty, musty feet. Look at the bunion on yas. Anyway, I don't know. Anyways, but I was like just rapping. I was freestyling. And then it somehow got into me talking about extremely deep, shameful things that I have so much shame over. Whether it be like things in the past that have happened to me, or things that I've let happen to me, or like desires or kinks and shames, or things that I've thought. And I just started freestyling about it, and it just started spilling out. And that might be a good way for you to you can do that as well. This might be a trend, guys. You know, if this video blows up, then make it a trend for like people to rap about all their deep, dark, shameful things in freestyles. You know, because for some reason, like, it really just started flowing out of me. And I was having hard time to struggle to find things that rhymed, but it started flowing out of me, you know, nonetheless, you know. And I'm worried about like the way I said the things, because I wasn't able to find many words. Like I was able to find words that describe what I was saying and like what I was going through and what all my skeletons in my closet, but I'm worried that I might have said stuff that like painted me in a worse light than what just saying all this stuff normally would paint me in. Like, if I'm worried that I said stuff that like painted me as like being not like being proud of the skeletons in my closet, or like I'm wondering if the way I freestyled like really like I painted me in a light of which I'm like okay with the skeletons in my closet and having all these, you know, shameful things and like desires and everything. But I'm wondering if I just didn't communicate it right. But whatever, you know, it's true to heart. It's true. Whatever I said is what I said. Anyways, so yeah, but I don't know how that got back to that. Got to that. But anyways, let me just talk about the thing. So yeah, threw the ice at my mom. That was, and then I took Simon. I just slept with him, and I put ice on his freaking hip, and he got better. He's a very strong guy, so he got better quickly. Okay, that whole sidetrack was because of I talked about. I got the thought when I saw this of how I used it when I lost my virginity. I used this lip balm, and so I had that thought, and I was like, I'm just gonna say it because I just thought of it, and then that spiraled into the whole intrusive thoughts, and that spiraled into the saying all my shameful things. Anyways, so four times where I got violent or whatever. The only time where I actually hurt somebody else or tried to hurt somebody else was when I threw the ice at my mom, like a couple months, like probably like a month or two ago. Yeah, probably like 2 months ago. Third time was with my sister, and this is like a month ago. This is the video where I made the video where I said I threw a tantrum. The video called "I Threw a Tantrum," and it was me that was me right after the scenario where it happened, and I just talked about it. Just talked about what happened. Basically, my sister said she was going to take Simon to the vet. She agreed upon it, and then she went back on it, and then she agreed upon it. She's like, okay, fine, yeah, I'll take Simon to the vet, and because Simon was, you know, as I've said in this video, he's getting sicker and sicker and worse health-wise. So she and then she went back on it, and she was like really loving arguing and everything, and so she loves, I guess she loves just going back on her word, and she likes arguing and manipulating. So she said like, okay, yeah, we'll take Simon to the vet in the morning, and then I came back and I was like, okay, what do you want me to wake you up, or do you want me to, you know, I'll get dressed in the morning, you know, and I'll even stay up all night so that I make sure I wake up. And then she said, oh no, I don't want to take him to the vet. And she was like smiling on the phone, and she was on the phone with my brother, and I was like, you owe it to me. Like and I brought up all the times that I saved her from killing herself, and all the times that she's abused me in the past when she was my age and I was like literally 0 to 6, and she was my age and she was abusing me so horribly. And I brought up like, you've done so much to hurt me that you can't even take my dog to the vet. Like, really? And I said, like, I want to take him to the vet so that I can take him to another home. And she was like, ever since you took Simon here, it's just been stressful, and this is what's causing the family to break apart, you know. Just obviously bullshit. Trying to act. She's obviously completely narcissistic, and you know, she said, ever since I brought Simon here, it's been chaotic or whatever. You know, classic thing that many people do say to me, of like, it's somehow my fault for the family's, you know, extensive, like over 40-50 year long abuse cycle. It's somehow my fault. Like I somehow went back in time and started all of the abuse and all the chaotic family shit. I somehow made it so my mother I somehow went back and implanted memories or implanted thoughts inside my mother, so that so that she could abuse all my siblings, even the two siblings that came before me. Even though I'm the youngest, I somehow my fault that they all got abused. Um, that's basically what she was saying. Like she was saying, like ever since that's like what these people try to say to me, you know. Basically, and that's not completely far off from the truth. That's actually like very close to the truth. Not very, but yeah, that is literally like what they say, dude. You know, not that extreme, not in that type of way, but I'm basically the problem, and something I did a year ago somehow that's the reason why this is all chaotic, or something I did 5 years ago, or something I'm doing right now, that's the reason why everything's happening in the family. And that's what they always try to say. So she was saying, like, ever since I brought the dog here, ever since Liam brought the dog here, this is why, you know, the house has been falling apart. This is why it's been so chaotic. And I was like, dude, I literally had to save you from killing yourself multiple times in the past year alone. I've literally like suffered through all the physical abuse, all the mental abuse that you put me through when you were older than I am now, that you put me through when I was like younger, like 0 to like 11. And I had to and even now the way like she was abusing me then, because she just lied about Simon. I'm still putting up with abuse and today, dude. And I was like, you owe it to me. And I don't know how she goes to therapy, and she's just this is what gets me scared about therapy. How has she been going to therapy so much, and she's still so completely unaccountable and so completely narcissistic still? I guess it's just a lesson for me not to like it's a lesson for me, like if I tell the therapist a truth which like is just untrue or my truth, then but in reality it's something that's just wrong, or just in something that I think and it's not true, then they're just going to obviously the therapy that my sister goes to has not been working, or she's been telling lies to, and then the therapist has been just like supporting these lies that she says to herself. So I guess that's just a lesson for me not to do that, and just to be truthful as I can. But she said you're she basically said I'm the reason for why this family's falling apart, and even though this family's been falling apart for 30 years, over 30 years, so ever since you brought Simon here, and she said I just want to take him to she said she was going to take him to a shelter and drop him off at a shelter, or she wanted to do that. And I was like, no, I'm not, like, that's not what's happening. And she just said that's the scenario. That's what she wanted to do. She's not going to take him to the vet. And I was like, we're fighting for the same thing. We both want Simon out of the house. I'm trying to get him to the vet so that we can get his shots and everything and get him medical taken care of, so that another family can actually adopt him. And she said, oh, so you want me to just possibly spend this money to get him to a vet and get all of his shots and everything, which could be thousands and thousands of dollars. Thousands and thousands of dollars. Or however much she said. She said like $1,000 or something, which I wasn't even I was asking for just if we could just get his shots done. And I looked at the prices. It's not no $1,000. And she said, oh, you want to get to spend all this money so that you can take him to another home. And I was like, what type of fucking logic is that? So you're angry that I want to get him to a state which I can get him to a safer home, but you don't want to spend your money so you can get him to that state? The point is, and if I would have said, please take him to the vet, help pay for some stuff, help pay for his shots and everything that he's got, all these sicknesses that he has, like you agreed multiple times that you were going to do, so that he can be more comfortable and stay here. She would have been like, oh, you want to take you really you want to like I don't want him to be here. He ever since you brought him here, he's been you've been the reason he's been the reason why our house is so chaotic and why our family's falling apart. So you really want me to spend the money to take him to the vet and get all of his shots done so that he can just continue being here. She would have said the exact same thing if I would have said that. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, we're fighting for the same thing. The only difference is you want to drop him off at a shelter where he could get euthanized and put down. And with all these medical issues that he has, and with he's never been to the vet, he's not neutered, and with these behavioral issues that he has had in the past, he's more likely to get put down than other dogs. So you just really want to, like, I try to say, like, we're fighting for the same thing. And I try to say, like, you owe it to me. Of all this abuse that we've gone through, you're 23. I don't understand why you should be fighting. You should be literally fighting for me trying to help me to get me to a new home. If I was like, if I was in your shoes, I would never abuse you like how you've abused me. And I would never do what you've done to me. And she was like, oh, you wouldn't? Oh, you wouldn't? And I was like, no, the fuck I wouldn't. Like, no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't physically abuse a defenseless child when I am 16 years old. I wouldn't. Yeah, of course I wouldn't fucking do that shit. But she's trying to make it seem like I would do that, like how she did it. Which, like, I don't think I would have. Like, I don't have any way of knowing. And that's the type of shit that makes me second guess myself when hearing these things, like, oh, you wouldn't if you were in that scenario. I think you would, or something, or whatever she was trying to say, of just projecting. Like, no, I would not have physically abuse how, like, the horrible shit that she's done to me when I was so young and defenseless, and when she was my age now and older, I would not do that shit. But it's the fact that all these people just say, like, oh, you wouldn't, you know, you're not better than me, like, you wouldn't do this shit, like, you're the problem. And that's the type of shit that makes me second guess myself and be like, would I horribly abuse my younger sibling like how my sister abused me? And it's like, no, I wouldn't. But, like, they say this shit so confidently, like I would, that it's like, damn, would I? And that's how they get you. That's how malicious these people are, and that's how projecting and manipulating these people try to be. And so I'm like, God, you owe this to me, dude. And she's like, I don't owe you shit. And so and then my brother's on the phone trying to manipulate her and trying to say, like, oh, you don't need to pay for the vet. You don't need to do, And so, like, she said, get out of my room. And I'm like, no, I'm not getting out of your room. And I'm just like, and now I feel like this sensation buildup of, like, okay, I'm about to explode, and I'm about to do something. I'm about to have a rage moment and just snap. And I feel it build up, and now I'm, like, in the room, like, really, and now I'm, like, purposely in the room because I feel like there might be a release that could come, and I might get to a state where I just fucking destroy everything. So, like, now I'm like, okay, I'm building it up by staying in the room, because I'm like, either you're going to agree to take him to the vet. In my mind, I'm like, either I'm going to stay in her room until she agrees to take me to the vet, or I'm going to stay in her room until I just blow up and start screaming, or it's not screaming, start destroying the room up, or start snapping, killing somebody. Not killing somebody, but, like, just snap in general. And she keeps on, and then she gets more cruel and abusive, and just more, like, so incredibly obviously wrong, and just cruel and abusive. And, like, I'm like, okay, and I just throw her bookshelf down. I sweep my hand across her vanity and just knock shit over. And gosh, I regret not fucking throwing her big bookshelf down with all of her antique dolls, living dead dolls and shit. I should have just thrown that shit down. But then honestly, like, I didn't think about this, but like the cats might have been in her room, so like I'm glad I didn't not completely destroy her room, because I don't think the cats were in her room, but the cats like to chill in her room, so I'm glad I didn't knock anything super over that could have killed any cats that were there. But I don't think any cats were in her room. But I just like knocked like the small bookshelf over, threw it over, swept my hand across the vanity. And she started screaming like, "Please don't do this! Please don't do this! Stop, please!" And yeah, my mom then threatened that she was going to call the cops on me. She said, "If you don't leave now and go to your friend's house, then I'm going to call the cops on you." And I just left. I recorded that video. I threw a tantrum that I uploaded, and then I went back and I slept in the Blazer, because I didn't really have any friends' houses to call. I didn't want to call anybody, really. So that was the second time I threw a tantrum. Third time is these by the way, these all I don't know if I already said this, these all have to do with Simon, and and Simon getting hurt, and then them abusing me and Simon, or Simon, them not helping Simon, or me having so little power over Simon and anything that I can do, and just blowing up, because the only people that have power and just can make the decision of taking Simon to the vet or helping Simon are the abusers, and that's what really fucks with me. And all of these blow-ups have to do with Simon. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if Simon really gets hurt or injured, I might just snap and just kill my family or something like that, or like completely tear the house down. And it's just, it's really going to get crazy if things don't change. So the third time was, I finally got my grandma to agree to take Simon to the vet. It was like a free thing. Like, there's two, so my neighbor, I talked to a professional on the phone, and I talked to my neighbor. She said, they both said like, "Oh yeah, you can take him to Front Street Animal Shelter, bring him in. It won't be like a super complete checkup on him, but you can bring him in and then you can say like, hey, my dog, I have these issues about my dog. He's probably never been to the vet, and you can talk to somebody, and they can look at your dog and then give you like a list of things that he might need help on, or they can even suggest things or help you with things." I talked to my neighbor, and it's for free. And I talked to my neighbor and a professional about this, and I talked to a neighbor professional about this, and they all said that, like, yeah, just do it. Go talk to them. It's completely free. And so I was like, so we have that, and then we also have a coupon, which I found out about, which is a 100% free checkup for a vet for a dog, for an animal. So it turns out we had that for a long time, and even without me knowing, like, they knew, or at least my mom knew, that we had a free fucking coupon for the vet, and still they didn't. Meanwhile, and also, by the way, when I threw my sister's bookshelves and everything that I talked about earlier in the video, like right before I went on this, what makes it even worse is that I literally was just asking, like, originally I was just saying, like, look, I just wanted to get to a place where, like, we can get shots done and everything done, and get, his medical stuff taken care of, so that I can get him to a place where I could get him to a new home. And it went from that, then it just went to, like, I literally just want to get him a checkup. Like, literally just a checkup. You don't have to pay for any shots, for anything. I really just please let him get a checkup. Can you take him to get a checkup? Pay for the checkup. It's literally, like, I was asking for a checkup at that point, and she still was just, like, so incredibly abusive, and just said, just no. And also, you're at fault for everything. And yeah, I tore up that bitch's room. I threw a tantrum. And so then the third time is I talked to a professional and my neighbor. I talked to a neighbor and a professional. they're like, okay, we actually we can go to this place. It's free. It's only a 14 minute. It's only like no, it's only like a 16-minute drive, I think. It's only like a 16-minute drive. We can go there for free. And then I also found out the same day from my mom that we have literally a free coupon that can get a free checkup, and we can go anytime. But I just want to save that because I know if I use that, mom's gonna get mad at me or whatever the fuck. So I just wanted to use this option of this free, semi detailed checkup that my neighbor, and then a professional on the phone. I think I talked to a vet, like a different vet, that said like, oh yeah, they could do that. If you just take them and it's free. So I got my grandma to actually agree to that, and we were going out, and then my mom like went in and said like, oh no, and she started screaming at my grandma and me like, oh my god, you're really going behind my back, and you're really taking. She was like, I guess she was angry because I didn't let her know or didn't tell her that I was taking Simon for a checkup, even though it was free and it wasn't even the coupon. So it literally wouldn't have even wasted the coupon, and it was free. And she was like, oh no, you're and she just started screaming. And my grandma, and for some reason my grandma and my grandma and mom, I don't know what happened in their lives, but I know it has to do with, well, my grandma is also like really getting mentally ill, like she has Alzheimer's or something, or dementia. But this is way before this is like years, ever since I was born, really. It's always been, my mom is like an abusive parent of my grandmother. It's very strange and very retarded. So my grandma is always like, oh, I don't want to get in trouble. Your mom is going to scream at me. I don't want to get in trouble. Like, it's just retarded. And I got my grandma to finally drive me and my dog to the vet for a free thing. I even paid her $20. I literally paid her $20. I don't have any fucking money, but I had a 20 from somewhere. I think I got a 20. I don't remember where I got the 20. I think it was my mom gave it to me months ago, but I got a $20 bill from somewhere. Or maybe she gave it to me later, but I got a $20. I had $20, and I gave it to my grandpa. I gave it to my grandpa because he needed to get to a doctor's appointment for himself. If I didn't give him that $20, he would not have gotten to that doctor's appointment. So I was like, okay, here, take the $20, use it for gas, and then he said, okay, I'm gonna take this $20, put 10 of it in my tank, and then I'll give the rest to grandma, so that she can give the other $10 to grandma, so that she can use that gas to drive you to the shelter. Cool. So I paid $20 out of my own pocket for them to get a 14 or 16-minute drive to the vet. Cool. Okay, so we go out. Everything's ready. I got Simon on the leash. My grandma gets dressed. Has the keys. We start walking out, and then my mom sees this, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're betraying me, and you're really something about me getting behind her back or doing something with Simon." And my grandma came out, and my mom just started screaming her head off at us, and at grandma, and she was like, "Bitch, you better get back in your fucking room," to my grandma. I don't know how, I don't, like, that's what I'm talking about. The people that I live with are just retarded, mentally ill. I don't like saying retarded because, like, retarded, like, first of all, everybody's a little bit retarded in the world, and also, like, I'm not, like, nothing against actually autistic people and, like, people that are actually known as retards or whatever. I'm probably part autistic or something. I think everyone is on the spectrum. And also, I don't mean retarded as in, but what I mean, saying retarded is like getting these people off the hook. I mean people like in such I don't know how, like, their lives led up to this family dynamic, but really, I guess it's really spectacular, is what I'm trying to say. Spectacular, crazy dynamic of this family. So my mom was like, because I don't want to say like, oh, they're just retards, you know, they're whatever. What They're ignorant is what they are. They're ignorant. They're cruel abusers, extreme narcissists. And I'm not completely perfect as well. I got a lot of things that I've done wrong, but I'm just so far above these people. Not that I'm inherently better than anybody, because I'm not inherently better than anybody, but I've just made so much progress that it's like it's insane that these people are still like stuck at such a ignorant level. So yeah, my mom is like, "Get back in your fucking room, bitch," to my, and she's not saying it in this tone. I'm just saying it in this tone because, you know, she's a girl and that's what she says. She's like, "Get back in your fucking room, bitch," you know, and saying that to my grandma, and saying like, "Oh no, saying like, you don't disobey me, bitch," or something to my grandma. Just screaming at the top of her lungs, and grandma's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then she goes, and the grandma's like, she probably didn't, I don't think my grandma said sorry, but like, she like went back, she started going in her room, you know, because my mom, she successfully got scolded by my mother. My grandmother successfully got scolded and taught a real good lesson by my mother of never to disobey her or go against her back or whatever. I don't even know what excuse my mom had for why she was angry in that moment, other than like the only reason why she was angry in that moment is because she actually saw that I was doing something to get my dog better, and she didn't like that because she likes the mental, she likes abusing the dog, and she likes knowing that it gets to me how unsafe my dog is. And so that's the only reason why I could think why she was so angry in that moment. And but I guess she came up with this thing of like, because she wasn't there, she didn't help plan it, even though if I said like, okay, I have this free thing, it's not the coupon, it's an extra free thing, so I just want to take Simon, she would have said completely no. And then she would have screamed at me for another hour about how I'm abusing the dog or whatever. So my grandma's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and she goes in her room, and I go and I follow my grandma, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" Like, and she was like, "Mom, your mother is screaming at me. Your mother," she's basically saying like, and it's classic for how, you know, for my grandma to blame me for my mother screaming at her. She's like, "You got me in trouble, you know, you got me in trouble." So I don't even remember, dude, but she's like, "You got me in trouble, and she's your mother, and I'm not gonna get in between you and your mother." And she's like, she's the person, she has the right over the dog or something. And she keeps saying like, why did you, she says like, "Listen, your mom screamed at me. She screamed at you, but who else did she scream at? She screamed at me." And it's just this constant thing of her, you know, my mom has literally tried to kill us all multiple times. My mom has abused my grandmother physically, knocked her over, pushed her over multiple times, pulled her hair while she was driving, spilled hot coffee on her while she was driving, while we were all in the car, and almost crashed and died and killed all of us. This was years and years ago, and my grandmother is still like just so fucking childish that my mother loves being the abusive stereotypical mother to her own mother, um, which is it's just weird. It's so weird, and this is why it's like I this is probably it's like this dynamic is so fucking weird of like my grandparents being like the children of my mother, like, and it's like, and this is probably why I haven't been vocal about it, and why I've been just, it's because I've been so fucking confused all of my life of like, okay, I've got to be the problem because this shit is just so fucking like insane and just so just strange of a concept of what this family dynamic is, and how like just weird it is. And that's probably why I've been, for so long in my life, I've been blaming so many of these issues that I'm having on myself, instead of just this weird pocket that we're in of just complete abuse, this weird ass family dynamics. And I guess it's just because I've never been able to really understand it. Or like, and that's what makes it so hard to talk to, and that's probably what's made it so hard, and it's making it so hard to talk to the camera now, but it's what's made it so hard to talk to a counselor or talk to a therapist or talk to an adult about it, because it's so hard to understand, much less describe the strangeness of it all. Of like, it's so strange. It's so strange. But at the end of the what this all is, without a doubt, is abusive and extremely harmful and poison. That's what this is, without a doubt. You know, I can't encapsulate what the whole dynamic is, what my childhood has been, what other people's childhood has been, what my siblings' childhood has been. But I do know that it has been poison, has been incredibly abusive, and yeah, that. And it's incredibly untruthful and confusing and strange. So back to the thing I was talking about. This is the third time where I threw a tantrum, or like got violent or whatever. So I was like saying with my grandma, like, what are you doing? Like, we could leave, it's literally, I paid, and it's a 16-minute drive. We just take him to the vet. I just want to ask the vet we take him to the shelter. I just want to ask the vet what's wrong with him. I talked to a professional, I talked to my neighbor. They said it was completely free. And she was like, your mother just screamed at me. Your mother I got in so much trouble just now, and your mom, and she was like, she screamed at you. Who else did she scream at? And I was like, you. And she was like, damn right, or right. And it's so crazy. It's so crazy. Like, I was in Miss Novello's class, talking about bringing it back to Miss Novello. There was this book which she played in her class, about this it was about this kid who grew up with an incredibly abusive mother, and she grew up with an incredibly abusive mother. Like, this mother would like I don't know if it was a boy or girl, and I think it was a boy. I think it was actually a blonde boy in the thing. Maybe not, but it was like she played a book series, or like a book out loud, and she was like, before she started the book, she put it for like a couple weeks to finish the book or whatever. She said, well, if you ever need to step out, you know, or if you need space, because this is a very graphic book, like Miss Novello's like, it's a very graphic book. And the book was basically about how this mother, it's a true story of how this young child got so incredibly abused physically, mentally, horribly. I don't know sexually, but humiliated. Like she had to eat like her own shit or something. Like her parents made him eat his own shit. She like her mom made her like try to kill him, which my mom also did try to kill me and my whole family, or at least me and my grandma and my sister, at least twice. But in the book, like her mother like was more planned out about her attempts to kill the child, and like she made like mustard gas or something like that, or like she put him in an oven. And this is like a true story, I think. And what I made me remember this was in this story. It was like a book. In this book, story / true events type thing, true story. There was the father who never really abused her, but he was just so. But one of the things that stuck with me from when I was in Miss Novella's class and heard that book series was something that like the child came up to the father and said like, can you please help me or please save me or something like that, or can you please tell mom not to kill me or something like that. And like she like broke out of the basement or something and she like ran to the father, and the father was like don't. He was like tired and like always like tired and like. And he said to the child, when the child was asking for help, like from her incredibly abusive mother, and the father was like, can you go back in the basement? I won't tell her, but just like go back in the basement and don't try not to get us in trouble, you know. And it's that I always remembered that part of a young child, that part in the book of the young child who's getting so abused by the mother, going back and asking the father for help, and the father being like, go back in the basement. I won't tell her that you snuck out, but you're going to get us both in trouble, or you're going to get me in trouble or something. And it's that attitude that I instantly remember that. And it's that thing, that instance of that book has stuck with me. And I instantly remembered it again when I thought about how my grandma acts, and pretty much all my members of the family act, for all my entire life. Of whenever I asked for help or did something, it's always like, stop, like just mind your mom, you're gonna get us both in trouble. Even the grandparents, even my sister, my brother. I'm not sure my brother, I remember, but my grandparents and my sister was always like, I would get extremely abused, run to them, ask them for help, and they're like, you're going to get us in trouble. And like but the thing that's different is that I think in the book, the father was just completely neglectful and completely enabling, and just said, don't get us in trouble, and just didn't help this person who was getting extremely abused. In my life, not only is that attitude in all of my members of my family, relating to my mom, but they're also extremely abusive in different ways. But it's that attitude is and that what the father said in that book is just really stuck with me, because it's the attitude that so many of my family have, and it's the attitude that my grandma had in that moment, and has had for all my life. Like she yelled at you, but she also yelled at me, and you got me in fucking trouble, or you got me in trouble. And so I was like, and I went out, and I went out of the my grandparents' room. I went to mom's room, and I was like, I was so fucking angry, and I was so hurt, so crushed, and so angry, and so passionate, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, it's literally a free vet thing. And she was like smiling, and she's like, oh no, you don't get to go behind my back and, do this, and And, you know, I put up with your shit for so long and whatever the fuck. You don't get to go behind my back. Like, she loves being like the mastermind. She loves being and that's probably what it is. She's built herself up to be like the villain of the household and the controller of the entire household. And she's like, oh, you don't get, that was my ankle popping, by the way, that was not me farting. She's like, you don't get to go behind my back and whatever the fuck. And I was like, and I was screaming, and I wasn't insulting her or anything. I was like screaming, like, it's literally a free fucking thing. Like, and I was, my eyes were starting to tear up. It was literally a free fucking thing. And she saw, and I could see it in her face. Her face turned into a full toothy grin of a smile. Because she saw, she was able to get me there. She was able to get me to that state of, screaming at her and with tears in my eyes. And she smiled. Her eyes lit up. She's like she smiled, and I saw that, and I was like, fuck. Like, she really got me to that point of screaming at her and starting to cry. It's just the smile she has when she does this shit. Just the smile of like, I got you. I still have control over you. The smile of like it turns her on. I still remember the smile when I was just like screaming at her, like, it's literally a free fucking thing. How would that ever hurt you? How does that hurt you in any way, shape, or form? I was like, how does that possibly go against anything that you like? And she was like, she said some abusive shit. She said some weird ass reason, like, oh, you're going behind my back, and you don't have, and she said something about like, you don't make decisions, or you don't have fucking power, or something like that. And then I was like screaming, and then I saw that toothy grin. Her eyes light up, and that genuine, that actual genuine smile come out of her, you know, like getting turned on by the fact that she had power over me. And that she got me to the point where I'm screaming at her and about to cry. So, and like, in the moment I saw her smile and her face light up like this wicked face, I was like, gosh dang it, dude. Like, she really got me to the point, man. Like, I lost, you know? Which in reality, like, it's not, and this is also something I've known. It's like, it's not a game. It's not a thing of like, oh, she finally got me to the state of, you know, she finally got me there. She finally got control over me. It's not about that. It's about just like, I've been worrying about that less and less. That worrying about like, oh, she has control over me. I've been worrying about that so much less because she's been getting less control over me. I've been thinking about her less. I've been thinking about other things in my life more, things in my future, things that I want to do, passions, you know, things that are from myself, you know, and not from the abuse. And so it doesn't really matter that it doesn't matter that she got control of me for that one moment, you know, and she got me to the state of lashing out and whatever. It doesn't matter. And I'm in a state now, and that and getting to that state actually really let me know, like, it doesn't matter. Like, that she didn't win any imaginary game, you know. Yeah, you got to a point where you started screaming and started almost crying, and that's what happened. Cool, that's what happened. I got to that state, and it's fine. She didn't win any game. She didn't gain any control or whatever, any long-term control. In reality, getting to that state of just like feeling like that, like a lost, like how I did probably when I was younger, of being in that state of being like a lost little puppy, and just like wanting help, and just her, laughing because she has that control over me, and um, that's that state of like screaming and crying and almost crying. But like, it's perfectly fine that I got to that state. It's perfectly okay, because like it was it was what's meant to be. It's cool. You know, and I wouldn't change that. I wouldn't change how I got to that state. I wouldn't change that I gave her that I gave her that satisfaction. I wouldn't change it, because you know it was what's meant to be, and if she has satisfaction over that, then good for her. I hope, and it's this whole thing of like, if she she had the satisfaction, she felt like controlled over me. She had control over me, and it's like I get reminded, and I remind myself of this peaceful attitude of like, that's fine. It's fine. She had control over you. It's not like she had control over you, but you got into that state. You felt like that lost little abandoned child that you were when you were much younger, and you were begging her for help. You're begging her to just be okay with taking Simon to the vet, and you got to that state. That's fine. You're not. You didn't get any worse as a person because I didn't get any worse as a person because I got to that state. I didn't get any less valuable. In fact, that was the best. That was what worked out, because like I feel like I'm now, like, maybe not because I got to that state, but maybe because I got to that state and I saw how proud she was of herself because she got me to that state. It just gives me more, like, I had, like, with the second I saw that, I just felt defeated. But I also, like, this the second I, like, when I after feeling defeated for a couple moments, I was like, dang, like, is this really, like, I just realized that it's like kind of feeling defeated in that moment is like you're still in the is like you're still in the abuse. Even looking at it as like a, I don't want her to get me to this state, or an I don't want her to know that it got offended or whatever. That's not the point. It's not, because it's not a game. The thing is, I still want what's best for everybody here. And I still have such a, even if it's an attachment I don't want to have as strong, I still have an attachment to everyone in this house. And the thing is, I still, and I don't, and this might be from trauma or from whatever, but I still empathize and sympathize so much, and I get so sad for everybody in this house, because I see where everybody's at now, and this might be because I have a God complex, and I'm like, oh, I'm better than these people because I feel bad for these people, but I genuinely feel bad for these people, because I've seen them. I see how my mom genuinely wants to no, she doesn't genuinely want to get better, but a part of her wants to stop feeling what she's feeling, and not necessarily stop the abuse, but a part of her wants to be happy. Like, obviously she wants to be happier. Like, she was just telling me about this thing, or a couple months ago, she was saying about this thing, like this nasal spray that helped her with her depression. And she was like, oh yeah, you should try this. You should try this nasal medicine or something that, like, you do it, and then it really helps her depression. And it's really helping me. And flash forward to now, and I see that she is literally not changed, like, as a person since any memory that I've ever had of her. She's been the exact same person, or almost the exact same person. She's changed minorly in things, but she's still incredibly abusive. She's still incredibly malicious. she's still incredibly hurting so much as a person. And it really it hurts me when I think deeply about it, or when I get into a state where I empathize with it. It hurts that she's 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 been in this so much pain for my whole life that I've known her with. It hurts that it hurts that she takes pills and she gets drunk, um, and she doesn't take as many pills and and she doesn't drink as much as she used to, and she hasn't gotten much better. She's just gotten less violent, but she hasn't gotten much better as a person. I don't think at all. Um, she's just gotten less like stereotypically abusive, but not. She hasn't gotten less abusive. Um, but thankfully, she doesn't. She hasn't tried to kill me, and kill the family in a long time. So at least that's a positive. But this person is. I see this person who is always in so much pain, and like and is such a she's so like she's tried booze, she's tried alcohol, she's tried pills, she's done very hard drugs in her past life before she's had me, or maybe even during she's had me, or even after I was born. um and she tells everybody about him too. um I just had a memory of my brother. My brother would literally say like, "Oh my god, okay, I don't even want to think about it. I'll if I say that, I'll say that later." Um, Basically, how my brother said to me like, "When you were a baby, I literally I visited home and saw you rolling around in trash, and I had to save you from that." Um, I just got a memory of him telling me that like from like kind of a year. It was like no, probably like a year or two ago. He was like telling me, I literally saw you rolling around in trash, and I saved you. And he was like saying that like for me to like appreciate him saving me from me when I was so apparently I was getting so neglected as a baby that that my mom would just probably like drop me, or just leave me on the ground somewhere and roll around in fucking trash. Or she might have taken me to fucking like a crack houses and just let me roll around in trash or something. And my brother said that so that I could be so appreciative of him for saving me from that, even though I have lived with this person for all of my life. I've lived with this person who has apparently left me rolling around in trash as a baby all the time. I'm supposed to be grateful because he saved me in those little moments. When he was like fucking 25 years old, he saved me. I'm supposed to be glad about that. I'm supposed to be grateful about that. You see a baby rolling around in garbage. I don't know if he said it was multiple occasions or it was one, but this is clearly stuck with him, and that's why he said it's like because he said it because he was talking about, oh, I've been so worried about you all my life, and I've worried about you all my life, and because he's 36 or some shit, and he's like, I saw you rolling around in trash as a baby, and I saved you from that. Um, it's like, how is that possible? Like, you saved me for like, I don't know, he probably took me for like a day or like a week and then returned me back to this fucking hellhole of a house that I was living in. This hellhole of a fucking abusive ass people that I was living with. And he's like proud of the fact that he saved me for like a week or days when he took me as a baby. When he came back to the house and saw that I was rolling around in trash. Think about how mentally disturbed you have to be to think that you are the hero because you saved a baby from that, even though you took him back to that same household. Like, and you're like 25, you're a grown adult, you're supposed to be mature. Or 25, or however old he was at this time. Well, how old was he when I was born? He was at least 20 when I was. He was like, yeah, at least 20 when I was born, or no, at least 18 when I was born. He's like 33 or 34 now, I think, and I'm 16. Yeah, so that's so fucked up though, that you feel good about yourself because and you said it to me for me to like feel grateful for, because you saved me from rolling when you came back to the house and saw me rolling around in trash. Oh yeah, I'm so thank you so much for saving me from that. Oh, by the way, you dropped me off at the house when I was a baby, and it, for like probably a week later, a day later, and I would continue to live there for all of my fucking life. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Is that what he expected me to say at that moment? Like thank you for not alerting the authorities or actually getting me any fucking help. But you saved me so much. Yeah, that's what he wants me to. That's what he wants me to think, I guess. Anyways, I was talking about something. I guess I was talking about. This is a very long video. I was talking about the time where I let mom get to me, and it's like I'm not like, who cares? Okay, she got to me. Cool, it's fine. Cool, she got to me. My mom is at the door banging or something, but she got to me, and it's like, it's not like she won a game or she did anything. So I just was so angry that I went to the kitchen, and I was like, I just threw stuff off of I just like swept my hand across the counter, and I just swept shit off the counter. Yeah, I swept my hand. I like glided same thing I did my sister's vanity. I just glided my hand across and just threw it off the counter. It was like glass or like cat litter and stuff. And so I was like, and she's like, and then my mom started screaming, I'm gonna call the cops. And then I went to my grandparents' room, and I was like, and then I threw, and I was like, what the fuck? Why can't you just do this? Like, it's literally free. It's not hurting you in any way. And she was like, cause you're getting me in trouble, and oh my god. And I just threw like one of her small like cases of like stuff down. It was like a 6-inch, or like no, like a 12-inch thing with like little drawers, and I just like threw it across the room. I never hurt anybody, but I threw it across the room. And my mom says she's gonna call the cops or whatever. And then my mom was like, continue screaming. And now she's screaming to my grandma. And now I'm laughing to myself. And I went to the backyard, because like I just needed to get out of there. My memory is very fuzzy, even though this happened very recently. But my memory is fuzzy because of the trauma and everything. So, I went to the backyard because it was so retarded of what just happened, and it's like my grandmother is just completely my mother's child. And she's getting like kind of dementia, but like she's literally she's not like forgetting who she is or whatever. She's like, and it's not the dementia. She's clearly getting gaps in her memory, or like she's like forgetting words every once in a while, but she's the same person. And also, she's been like this all my life, so it's not the dementia that she's getting. But yeah, you can't. I'm not gonna blame it, because it's not. You're not. You can't. I can't blame it on the dementia. So yeah. Then I went in the backyard, I think just to get away from it all. I took Simon in the backyard or something, because I didn't want him stepping on the glass, because I like swept my hand across the counter and glass flew. So I didn't want him stepping on the broken glass. So I put him and myself in the backyard, and I just heard screaming and screaming and screaming. And I heard screaming from my mom in my grandma's room, just screaming at my grandma. And I started laughing to myself. Or no, I think I came in and I heard mom screaming at my grandma from in her room. And I just started laughing at myself. laughing. I just started laughing to myself. Like, my grandmother, she could have just taken my dog to the vet. You know, mom was screaming at her a little bit. No, a lot. My mom was screaming at her. But she just could have just, you know what, just taken Simon to the vet with me. And we would have just, nothing would have gone wrong. Like, we just would have taken Simon to the vet, had it, and just asked for help. We just could have asked for the free thing that my neighbor and a professional told me that was free and that would help me, and we could have just done it. It would have been, I don't see how it could have been wrong to do so in any way, shape, or form. We could have just gone there. And my grandma just could have just, like, she was already almost to the door when mom started screaming at her. And my grandma had the keys to the car and everything. I had Simon on the leash, or about to get Simon on the leash. And we could have just went. We could have just gone. And now my grandma not wanting to get in trouble or not wanting to get screamed at anymore, and my grandma being, like, angry at me because I got her in trouble for my mom. And she decided to go back in her room and just, like, go back in her room and be like, ugh. Because she did that, that led to my mother. My mother would have screamed at her regardless and just went into her room, powered into her room, and just screamed at her, probably. But because she did that, and I got so angry and so angered that I just threw my shit across the living room, and then I went in Grandma's room. I was like, what the fuck? And I threw her thing down, like that 12-inch little drawer thing. I don't even know what it was filled with. I think it was like newspapers or something. I just threw it down. It was plastic. I threw it down, and I think there's a glass that was next to it that I accidentally threw down. So yeah. But because of her not just, like, taking him to the vet, taking him to the shelter thing, and, like, just going even though mom was yelling at her and us, she decided to go back in her room and just not deal with it. And that is what, and that scenario led to me deciding to, like, go into the rage mode. Not like I went into the rage mode, but, like, there's always a choice, and I decided to just, like, go crazy and just sweep my hand across the counter and just throw everything down, and throw that little book, that little shelf she had in her room. And that is what led mom to go completely off the rails and start screaming her head off. And then that's what led mom to go into grandma's room and scream directly at her face. And grandma was, like, had tears in her eyes, and she was like, ah, ah, ah. And I just started laughing to myself, because of just how this dynamic is, and how she, if she just would have gone to the vet, she wouldn't have had to go through this. If she just would have gone out the door, she was 5 feet from the door. She just would have gone out the door. We would just take Simon to the vet, and it would have been good. But she decided to walk all the way back to her room, across the house, instead of 5 feet out the door. She walked all the way back to her room, and that's what led to my mom going in and scolding at her and screaming at her. And I've been dealing with this shit all of my life, and my grandma being so incredibly narcissistic, and my family always blaming me for mom screaming at them, or always blaming me for family issues or drama issues, that I'm like, I just start laughing to myself. And I go in my room, and I'm like, congratulations. And I start literally, like, laughing, like, full on laughing, because of just how fucked up this scenario is, and just that if grandma that she got herself into this scenario of just getting screamed at by my mother. So I came in, I stand next to my mother and my mother's just screaming at her, and I'm like, congratulations, and I start laughing to myself, like, we could have just gone to the vet. We literally could have gone to the vet, gotten him, like, I don't remember what I said. We literally just gone to the vet. It would have been fine. You wouldn't have had to be yelled at. But look what happened. You decided to go back in your room and Now mom is screaming, and I just said congratulations. And I just laughed and said congratulations. And the whole time, my grandma is like on the verge of crying, and she's like, and she's looking at me like this, like she's looking at me like with this complete face of like betrayal and sadness, and just like, like tears. She's like, and let me reiterate, this person is not like she's not. My grandmother is not like a retard. She's not this crazy dementia. She's very ignorant and probably a very low IQ person, and very extremely narcissistic, and she's not a good moral person. But she's not like stupid, and that's like she's just like she's not that stupid of a person. Like she's not that low intelligence, even though she is probably low intelligence, but she's not that low intelligence to excuse or be like I can't, you can't say that like, oh, she just doesn't know any better, or she just doesn't want to get hurt, and she's like, that's like, you can't say that. The reason why she gets like this, and why she has this dynamic with my mother being basically like her mother, is because of the type of person she is. It's not because she's like a retard or a dumb, like very low IQ person. It's because of the dynamic and the abuse, and somehow it made it so that she was so scared of my mother, that, and so incredibly just like enabling and narcissistic, that everything is my fault or someone else's fault, and I'm always the reason that she gets in trouble or gets screamed at by my mom. And that her person, it's not her intelligence. That's you can't make, that's not an excuse. So that was the third time I got violent or whatever. Violent. I didn't hit nobody. I didn't hurt nobody. That was the third time. And then the fourth time was I called, and I texted 988. Like, and this was like a week ago, or like a week or two ago. I texted 988 because I was like kind of suicidal, and kind of like not really suicidal like I was gonna do it, but I was thinking about it. I was thinking about like if I'm going to snap eventually and commit suicide, or if I'm going to snap and then destroy the house, or if I'm going to snap and then kill somebody. And I texted 988 like, I'm getting abused, and yeah, and I'm having these thoughts or this feeling. And so the next day, cops came, and they knocked on my door. I thought it was my mom or someone who knocked on the door. So I was like, text me, because I didn't hear them. I had my earbuds in, because I sleep with my earbuds in to drown out any noise and whatever. Even though it doesn't help extremely well. It doesn't really help. Like, it doesn't fully help, but it helps that I have earbuds in playing music when I sleep. But I wasn't able to hear like who was knocking. It was able to hear knocking. So I was like, text me, and then I get a call from a random number, and I'm like, hello. And then it's like, oh, and then they say like it's an officer on the phone because of the 988. So I went out to talk with him. I shared the abuse, and I must have, I said this on a video somewhere. I think I said this on a video, but these police officers were actually somewhat respectful, like somewhat open to what I was saying. Somewhat like they possibly believed that I might be telling the truth, at least a little bit, and they at least heard me out, which was a drastic contrast to all my other police encounters that I've had, where they just call me a compulsive liar, or say that like, or say I bring up real crimes that have happened, and I show footage, and they say like, oh yeah, that's just parenting, or I said like, or my mom admitted to trying to give me drugs, like literally prescription drugs, her prescription drugs. My mom admitted to trying to give me those, and the police officer was like, oh, she's just trying to medicate you. What? Oh, she's just trying to medicate you. Matter of fact, I'm about to look that up because I might actually just call 911. I might actually contact freaking, because my mom literally admitted, I'm gonna say it, and hopefully I want to get all these police officers, corrupt ass, tyrant ass police officers. Hopefully I want to get them at least lose their jobs, hopefully in jail when I'm older, because I can actually bring up this fucking horrible behavior that's happened to me. Horrible behavior and just disrespect. They called me a compulsive liar. Said I was like, I was talking to I went to the fire station, and they said like, oh yeah, and the fire station people were always nice to me and said like, okay, we're gonna get you some help. And the police showed up and they're like, oh yeah, they didn't curse, but yeah, this guy's a liar. We're taking you home now. And their fire station guy was like, well, maybe we can, set things up with like, maybe we can set the fire station guy, this cool ass fire station guy, was like, well, okay, well, and he looked at me like I was like, I promise you I'm not lying. Because I wasn't lying. I would never fucking lied. Or like, if I did lie, I didn't knowingly lie. Like, if I did lie, I said like, I didn't, my mind is foggy, so I might have said something that wasn't, or said, I don't know, but I didn't knowingly ever consciously lie. And it's not like the things that I said were false. Everything I said was true, except like I might have said like I switched up a date accidentally, or I said, it's not like I'm completely making up these scenarios. I'm not making up any of these scenarios. Any of these things, 99% of it is true. Any lying that might happen is just like me saying like the wrong date, or saying like, or like misquoting someone, saying like they said this thing when they said something that was almost exactly like that thing, but I just misremembered it, and I was like a word off. I was telling the truth. I would never said a lie to anybody in fucking police or fire station. And the guy was like, okay, well, maybe we can set something up. He said there's a family member, his friends might be able to take him. And the police officer's like, nope, we're taking him right now. He's a liar. He's not. He didn't say like he's a liar. He did call me a liar, but he's like, he said he's making up things that is completely unfounded. And then when I got in the squad car, he was like, listen, you need to stop lying. And I was like, honestly, I'm telling you, I swear, I've never said a lie. And he was like, he laughed at me. I was like screaming. I was like, you gotta believe me, please. I've never lied. I've never fucking lied. And he's like, I can tell you're lying because you're saying honestly too much. Oh, that pisses me off so fucking bad, dude. The police officer is literally like, I can tell you're lying. And he was like smiling to himself. I can tell you're lying because you're saying honestly too much. Meanwhile, I'm like saying like, I've never, like, oh my gosh. Like, the police are just, holy shit, dude. So fucking crazy. If I would have had this shit on video, oh my god, I should have had it on video, but it's like they probably would have taken my phone away or some shit. Just like the most abusive, like movie like people, like it's literally like a movie. Like if you like people think of like people, if like writing a stereotypical story of like an abuse victim, or like a black person, and then like the most stereotypical cop being like, oh, you fucking N-word, we gotta clear these streets of you. Where it's like, literally the most stereotypically abusive ass cops to me, calling me a compulsive liar, saying I need to stop asking for help, saying I need to stop trying to get everybody else to help me, and I should start manning up or taking responsibility. I can tell you're lying. You're stop being a compulsive liar. I can tell you're lying because you're saying honestly too much. And just these fucking assholes of men. And then the fucking guy had a fucking sidekick that was like just staring, this fucking blonde girl just staring at me while he was like abusing me and like fucking being retarded. And just these two men, probably so fucking fragile, their egos are so fucking fragile that they just love they just love the fact that they might be able to fucking get to have power over this kid. And they just like, and they don't even think for a second that I could be telling the truth about any of it. This happened multiple times, like three different sets of cops, at least three different sets of cops, or at least two different sets of cops, plus another cop that was also like, I called them and just her that came out, and she didn't believe me for a second. I showed her the video of my mom trying to give me the pill, and she didn't believe me she was like, oh my gosh, dude, didn't take me seriously, said nothing was going to come of it probably. And then the cops that called me the cop that called me a compulsive liar and took me home, talked to my mom, and the cop said like, or my mom said the cop said like, oh yeah, you're probably going to have to he's probably never going to do, like, he's going to drop out of school and he's going to you're going to have to pay for him until he's 20 or something, and you're gonna have to, he's gonna keep living here for all of his life. I don't believe, I don't want to, I take everything that my mom says, other people said, with a grain of salt, because she's also incredibly abusive. But my mom told me when I got inside, when the cops left and escorted me inside, my mom said, oh yeah, I told them that I was trying to give you the antipsychotics or the Seroquel or whatever it was. I told them that I was trying to give you it, and they said it was okay. Or she said like, oh yeah, I admitted that I was giving you I was trying to give you drugs. I was trying to give you the Seroquel or whatever. And for what, I don't know if it was a Seroquel, but what it was an antipsychotic drug that she takes for her many mental problems. She's got bipolar, schizophrenia, some type of personality disorder, ADHD, PTSD. First, she takes antipsychotics, right? I'm not sure if she's prescribed. I think she's prescribed these. I don't think she gets them off the street. But she's been trying to get me to take these, and she's been giving these, crushing these up, and putting them into drinks. My sister's been taking them for years. And she's been trying to get me to take this. I think it's called a Seroquel. Might not be the name for it, or might be the wrong thing, but it's antipsychotics, which I'm not prescribed for. I don't have any of these conditions which could even do that. She tries to get me to take these, and I have a video of her handing me the pill, trying to get me to take the pill. I showed it to police officers. They didn't do shit. They didn't believe a word I said. And I was like, just ask her. Just fucking please ask her. Ask her about, ask her if she was trying to get me to take the antipsychotic, the pill. Just ask her if she was trying to get me to take it. And she was like, no, I'm not going to ask her because I know you're wrong. Oh my God. The policeman said, I was like, just if you ask her, if you tell her like if you tell her that you know she's been doing all this abuse, she's going to admit to it. And I was like, just ask her. And she's like, no, I'm not going to ask her because I know you're wrong. And he's smiling to himself, but he's also trying to be like, he's smiling at me, but because he knows I'm just like fucking, just like, I'm not screaming, but I'm just like really, I'm like crying, and I'm just like so distraught. I'm not screaming, but I'm like, please, like, just ask her, just tell her that like, she's the abuse is happening, and she's got to say it. Just ask her, please, just ask her that if she tried to get me to take fucking drugs. And he's like, no, I'm not going to ask her. And he's saying this in a stern voice, and like this stern voice, but also laughing to himself, smiling at me, staring me in my eyes from the back, because I'm in the back seat. He's staring from the window. He's like, no, I'm not going to ask her, because he says, I'm not going to ask her because I know you're fucking lying, or because I know you're lying. There's no point. And he's just laughing to himself. And then they escort me inside. They escort me inside like I'm going to run away or I'm going to do some shit. Clearly just some humiliation. And by the way, they take me to the porch, and on the side, because it was raining kind of, or it was like wet. It like rained before that. I see a snail on the ground. And I'm like, okay, watch out for that snail. I was like, because they were escorting me, and I see a snail on the ground. And because these two police officers were like by my side, like I was a fucking convict or something. They were on both sides of me, walking me to my door, and it was on the pavement which led to the porch. And I was like, oh, watch out for that, please. Or I said, watch out for that snail on the ground. And they're like, okay, yeah, I see it. They're like, oh yeah, I see it. And so, because I didn't want them to step on the snail. I didn't want to step on the stuff. So I was just like, okay, watch out for that snail. And they take me inside. And this is after I was in the car for like 30 minutes and they were talking to my mom. My mom was telling them probably a bunch of horse shit. But during this time, my mom's actually admitted trying to get me to take the drugs. And so the police officers came back, escorted me to and I just said to them before they took me inside, I was like, oh my God, I said this because I was just like, I just was trying to find any way to just like be respectful and rise above the hate. And so I said like, I really respect y'all. I respect what you do, but I promise you I'm not lying. And I said that multiple times to different abusive ass, tyrant ass police officers. I was like, I respect what you do, like, but I promise you I'm not lying. And I never lied. And they're like, okay, yeah. And I go inside. My mom starts screaming at me, saying like, oh yeah, and guess what? I told them that I was trying to get you to take this psychotics, the Seroquel or whatever the thing was, whatever the pill was called. I told them about it, and they were fine with it. They were like, yeah, do it. And I was like, what? I was like, I literally told her, what? You actually admitted to that? They actually asked you? And I thought to myself, oh, she's gotta be lying. Because I literally been begging that police officer to ask my mom about that. Like, please ask her, she's going to admit it. And the police officer was saying, no, I'm not going to ask her because I know you're fucking lying, or I know you're a compulsive liar. And I don't know if he cursed me, but I think he did curse multiple times. But he just said, I know you're lying to me. And he was like sternly, and then he was laughing at me, saying, I know you're lying to me. Oh, God. But apparently he did ask her, after saying like, no, I'm not going to ask her because I know you're fucking lying to me. But apparently he did ask her, or one of the cops asked her, and she said yes. She admitted. She said, yeah, I've been trying to get him to take this antipsychotic because he's going crazy or something. And I was like, and I run out I run outside because I'm like, no way she actually said this. So I go out and I see the police officers driving they take the corner and they're back on my street driving away. And I'm like, wait, hey. I wave my hands. I'm like, hey. I wave my hands. I'm like, wait, hey. And they stop their cars. They like stop their cars. Then they point this big ass fucking spotlight on me. They point this big ass spotlight on me, like shine it directly into my, like this fucking, I don't know why they had a big ass, I mean, I guess but I've never really seen police cars with the big ass, this specific one had a big ass spotlight on it. And they were like, oh, I know what will piss this guy. I know what to do. I'm going to turn on this big ass spotlight and I'm going to point it in this guy's direction. And so they pointed this big ass spotlight that was on their car into my eyes. I was like, wait. And they pointed at me and they're like, oh, wait. And they were like, get inside or we'll arrest you. They were screaming, get inside or we'll arrest you. And I was like, I just have I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I just have to say something. I have a question. And they were like, what? And I was like, my mom said she literally just admitted. My mom had just admitted that she was trying to get me to take the fucking pills. My mom literally just admitted to it. And the police officer was like, he said, it's okay. It's all right. She was trying to medicate you. Get inside or we'll arrest you. Get inside. So now, from them saying that, now I do have confirmation that they actually did ask my mother if she did try to get me to take those drugs. So now I have confirmation that the police officers, or one of them, did ask my mother, and then my mother did admit to it. Because the police officer said, yeah, she was just trying to medicate you. Or, yeah, that she was medicating you. Get inside. or she was trying to medicate you, get inside. So I've looked this up, researched this to all hell. Nowhere I've ever seen that. Nowhere I've Chat GPT. I've researched this. I went into fucking on Safari. I've asked multiple different things. Is it legal for a parent to give their 16-year-old child, or I think I was 15 at the time, 15-year-old child, medication or antipsychotics when the child is not prescribed the antipsychotics? Resounding. I've never gotten a yes answer from any website or ChatGPT. It's always been that is literally illegal. That is fully illegal, and that is extremely dangerous to do. I was like, okay, if the parent suspects that the child is going crazy, can they medicate the child, or can they try to medicate the child, or the 15-year-old with antipsychotics? It's resounding no. And yet, my mother fully admitted that to the police officers. After the police officer said, I'm not gonna ask her that. I know you're fucking lying. I know you're a compulsive liar. My mom fully admitted to that. And still, the police officer said, she's trying to medicate you. It's fine. Get inside. Retarded. It's just retarded. And this is a common thing. Multiple police encounters. I've literally had to save my sister from killing herself, and my sister attacked me, tried to kill her boyfriend, and the police officer showed up, took her for like an hour, and then came, and then like I told them about what's happening, the abuse, and they keep on berating me, calling me a liar, calling me that I'm so privileged, and like. That other police officer said, like, I've seen real struggle. I've seen real kids struggle, and I've seen places where they don't have water, and they something like they're like crack addicts. You don't know struggle. You like shut the fuck up. I'm literally getting abused so fucking bad. Do I have running water? Yes. That doesn't change the fact that I'm getting abused so fucking bad. Am I in a better situation than other kids my age? Yes. That maybe almost definitely, because I mean, you could say like, and this is actually an excuse that I've been trying to tell myself, is that like, oh, everyone's struggling, and like everyone, like if someone was born into a better environment, there's other things that get to them that hurt them. So like I don't really have it any worse than anybody, but because like if you're born like say like rich households, they're privileged in that way, but they also have problems that come with that. And when you don't have problems, you like naturally get problems in life that because you are so privileged now seem like very big deals, when to somebody who was in a worse environment, if they had those same problems, they wouldn't. So it all equalizes out, but still I'm not sure, but there's still children my age and younger and older and younger in my age who are in worse scenarios. That doesn't change the fact that I'm getting so fucking abused in my household all of my life in so many different ways, in ways that are so unlawful and so unmoral, and you're still such a fucking loser of a police officer that you don't do shit about it. And you blame me for my problems. You blame me for me. I said I was not going to school. You blame me for it. And this was even when my mom literally wasn't enrolling me in school, and my mom and the guy said, yeah, she's legally not allowed to enroll you in school, even though that's literally a bold-faced lie. He said like, because you failed your last year, you can't go to school anymore. You're ruined. You can't go to school anymore. You failed your last year. You can't enroll into any school anymore. Which is literally, look that shit up. That's literally false. That's literally false. Look that shit up. It's completely false. Completely false. And I was literally able to enroll in school when my mother finally agreed to it. And when she agreed to it, I was able to enroll myself into school. Which, by the way, I had to go to the school myself, say like, and get the teachers and everybody to manipulate my mom into finally getting her to be okay and sign the thing to get me into school. So I literally worked with the school to get my mom to help get me into school. And the second she signed the thing, I was in school. So that's complete bullshit. That's a bullface lie. There's so many things I could say about all of the abuse and all of the fucking neglect and just all of the just police, like literally police brutality that I went through. Like, if I wasn't a strong person, I would have like at these scenarios where police have just completely shot me down and blamed me and just been so incredibly abusive to me. I would have killed myself if I wasn't a strong person and decided, you know what, fuck, I'm going through that. I'm going through this shit. But wow, like what a failure of what I cannot imagine the karmic debt that these people are going to have to go through, because it's like, you are supposed to be the people who help, and you've just been such a fucking so not helpy, you know. But anyway, this got really sidetracked in the whole police thing. This got sidetracked back onto the and by the way, these instances where I, you know, threw tantrums, these didn't, I don't know, I know this was getting off the rails. All the police things have happened in the past, like past before any of these physical things where I got violent or like threw the bookshelf down or threw anything down. All of the police interactions happened before, like months before this. Except for when I called 988 after, or yeah, except for when I called I was talking about the fourth time that I threw a tantrum and like destroyed something, which was when I called 988, said I was having suicidal thoughts or thoughts that I might snap and kill somebody. And then the police came, and this, hopefully you can still remember to what I was talking about. Like these guys, they still didn't really believe me. They still said it was like the physical abuse was unfounded or whatever. But they were like, I could tell that they at least respected me a little bit and heard me out. And they took me. They were like, we can take you to a voluntary, you can talk to a therapist voluntarily. We're not gonna take you without your consent, or like, we don't think you're in a state where like it's an emergency, like you really need to get out of here, even though it kind of was that, but they didn't think so. And they were like, but we can, if you want to, we can take you on a voluntary thing where we can drive you to the emergency clinic, and you can just talk to a therapist for a little bit. And I was like, but he was like, and I was like, okay, I'll go. You sure it's voluntary? I don't have to. He's like, no, you don't have to. But if you feel like you should talk to somebody, then we can take you if you want to. And so I was like, yeah, okay, I'll get dressed and I'll talk to somebody. And so I got dressed, and I went to, and they took me to the place, and they talked with this therapist, this clinician or whatever, and we're like, yeah. So off the report, he said he was getting locked. He apparently was getting locked in the garage, which was just like not true. I said in the 988 thing, I said when I was trying to sleep in the garage to get away from my family, and then my mom came in with a strobe light and started screaming and trying to wake me up with a strobe light while I was sleeping in the Blazer. The car in the garage it's called the Blazer. My mom came in the garage for like multiple times all throughout the night with a strobe light. Literally, it's so stereotypically just evil. She came in with a strobe light, flashing it, and just screaming at me multiple times all throughout the night. Because in the garage, because she knew I was sleeping in the Blazer. So, anyways, isn't that so evil? Like, nothing is evil, nothing is bad inherently. Like, nobody does anything for like bad reasons, because everybody does something because to either chase pleasure or run away from pain or to comfort or do something. But isn't that such like a down, like an icky, an icky thing to do, just a pathetic thing to do, to you're like I'm literally trying to sleep in this car in the garage which has mold in it, and I'm trying to just sleep in there so I have some sort of peace, and you're coming in here like a little rat, and just like how with a strobe light, like I don't know if it's called a strobe light, when they have a flash, she has a flashlight, and like she puts it on a motor like blares, like if you have epilepsy it would get you into a fucking coma or whatever. Like it's like extremely bright, and she like turns it on this mode, and she like blinks, flashes very quickly and very loudly, very brightly. And isn't that just an icky, pathetic thing to do? Like a ratish thing to do. Like I like rats, but like isn't that just a pathetic thing to do? Like a low, like shameful thing to do. Like I'm trying to escape and trying to actually have somewhat of a peaceful night of sleep, and you're literally going in like every hour or every couple hours during the night and shining in this strobe light, and then going in and then going up to the window. Like you do it from the garage, and then you go up to the window and do it from the back and do it, and you scream, and you're screaming and screaming. It's just such a pathetic thing to do. But anyways, I told 8988 about that situation because that just happened to me at the time when gosh, my nose is itchy. And apparently 988 said or just didn't, I might have miscommunicated, but apparently that transformed into me being locked in the garage, and that's what the police officers, because the police officer said something like he was locked in the garage, and I was like, oh no, I wasn't. And then he was like, okay, but like this is just me, this is just what the CPS report is, so I'm just gonna say, I gotta say what the CPS report said. So I was like, okay. I respected that, even though he was just saying stuff that wasn't true and I never said. Or if I did say, I was just but no, I didn't say that. I never said I was locked in the garage. No way did I ever say that. I gotta stop making excuses for like things that I've never lied. I've never made up stuff. I've never stuff is just, I just gotta stop making excuses for shit that is obviously wrong. Like I never miscommunicated by saying I was locked in the garage. I never lied to the police officers. So, and he was like, well, the physical abuse seems to be unfounded, from what I've seen. And he was like yeah, he's getting into a mental state, but he's clearly trying to, and this is what the cop was saying to the therapist. He was like, the physical abuse seems to be unfounded. Something about the CPS report was something about he was locked in the garage, and that's when I interrupted him, and he was saying like, no, well, I'm just gonna say what the CPS report said, and so he was apparently locked in the garage or something. He's not, like the police officer said, it's just affecting him mentally, and the police officer, oh gosh, my nose is so itchy. Why is my nose so itchy? And police officer said like he's clearly trying to get help. He's very proactive or whatever. The police officer said like he's clearly trying to get help. He's clearly trying to, he wanted to do the voluntary thing so he could talk to a therapist. He clearly wants help. He's clearly not, he wants to do better or get better. The police officers probably thought, I think what I can tell is that the police officers thought I was just like mentally ill and making up all this abuse up. Or like they thought like most of the abuse was not that extreme and I was just making it up because I'm mentally ill or something. But I think they just felt bad for me anyways. But they were respectful, and they heard me out, and they took me to the voluntary thing, and they were kind to me. So when they left, I got up and shook their hands, and I just said thank you so much. I think I said thank you for hearing me out. And I think I said thank you so much or something. I said either thank you so much, and I shook both their hands, or I said, no, I think I said thank you so much or thank you for hearing me out. But I think I said thank you so much to both of them, and they were like best of luck. So that was a cool experience. And in that moment, I realized that I didn't want revenge on any of the other police officers. I just deep down wanted them to believe me. and that I don't really want, I don't want revenge on any of the police officers that really abused me and really insulted me, and didn't help me. I just want them to believe me, even though, like, they do deserve to have their jobs taken from them. Not deserve, like, but they should not have their jobs anymore because of just a complete failure of helping me, when I don't think I was being difficult. I wasn't screaming. I wasn't like lying. I was being truthful, as truthful as I was trying to be completely truthful. My nose is so itchy. And the reason, if what thing that they might have thought I was lying was only because I just didn't understand the situation fully, and I still don't understand the situation fully because of so much abuse, and because I just, like, I still, like I said in this video, I'm still so confused about this all, and I'm still so, it's just such a strange environment and such a strange household and such a strange experience. It's so strange, and I can't even really describe how horrible it is and how just strange the dynamics are. So that's why I had any failure to communicate wasn't because I was making up lies or making up. It was because I was, number one, very stressed out, very anxiety, and very nervous and scared, and also because I just, like, maybe I said something wrong. I don't remember what. God, my nose is itchy. I don't remember saying anything wrong though. I don't think I said anything. I don't even think I said anything wrong. Gosh. But yeah, these police officers should not be working anymore, and in fact, I would love to have them go to jail for some time for just failure to, not only failure to help me, but just insulting me and actively attempting to for just acting on malicious reasons and just insulting me so much, like insulting this I was 15 years old at the time, insulting this 15-year-old at the time, like, so badly, and just humiliating these people should not work in law enforcement. Ugh. But anyways, the two police officers, when I called 988, gosh, I'm nose so itchy. Police officers took me to 988. I texted 988. Next morning, the police officers took me. I talked to the therapist. After I talked to the therapist, which is super cool. Her name is like Stacy something. She works at Sacramento, or her name might be Stacy Wilson or something. Hopefully, people actually make it through this video. Hopefully, people actually make it through this whole video. If you're still watching, I applaud you, and I thank you so much for. Well, you see that ring there? What is that? Thank you so much for just being interested or being worried enough to keep watching. Thank you so much. If anybody's even watched a little bit of this, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. YouTube is. I was just writing about, like, and I'm thinking about YouTube is probably what will end up saving me, and YouTube is like what has been and possibly will be, what possibly has been and possibly will be the difference between life and death for me, literally. So thank you so much, everybody who's been watching and supporting, commenting. Thank you if anybody's made it this far. So yeah, so I went to the therapist. I just talked about everything and with the therapist, and it was really cool. I had so much brain fog and it was so nervous, but I stayed up the day before. I think I stayed up a night or two before that, so I was very, very brain foggy and whatever. But I just said, we talked about everything, and I talked about Simon and the abuse and everything. And she just told me, like, it's valid. She told me that, like, it's valid, and it's so fucking hard for me. And she said, yes, I could see how it's so hard. And she talked to me. She talked to me about Simon. She was like, yeah, the reason you feel so strongly about Simon is because you've been through all this shit. You've been through all this abuse, but now you see it happening to another living being. But now you see it happening to another to another being, and you that's what's really, really really driving you crazy or something. And she said that, and I started to cry almost when she said that, because that is exactly what it is. Um, because I see someone getting abused, um, kind of like me being abused when I was growing up, and still now, and I see it happening to someone else, especially someone who can't really defend themselves, like Simon. Um, it's like how I was when I used to be, when I couldn't defend myself when I was younger, and even like I can't really, it's hard for me to defend myself, with getting out of here and getting all these things. I see that happening to another person, another living being, and that's what hurts so bad. Is there something on my nose, dude? My nose is so itchy for some reason, so itchy. Anyways, so yeah, and then but on the drive home, I got my grandma to drive me home, and so my grandma went to the mental hospital, picked me up, and then drove me home, and she was like, "Oh gosh, my nose is so itchy. Oh, I gotta." My grandma was like, and this just shows how narcissistic and horrible of people these are. Everyone's a good person deep down, but these people are so horrible. My grandma was like, "What? So what did you say? What happened? Are you feeling okay?" And she got me Starbucks, right? Like she's like, she got me Starbucks. She got Starbucks, and she was like, I can't. Like looking at her was so painful. But she got me Starbucks. She took me to Starbucks. She got me Starbucks. So we got coffee, and she was like, she's like, what happened? Like, she's like, how are you feeling? And whatever. And she's like, she said like, how are you feeling? And I said, I was honest with her, and I said like, I'm suicidal because of, and one of the main reasons I'm suicidal is because of Simon, and because of how I see him getting mistreated, and how he's not getting taken to the vet, and how I want him to get to a safer home. And that's a big reason of why I'm suicidal. And even the therapist said that. And can we just please take him to the vet? And my grandma was like, she leaned back, and she took a sip of her coffee, and she was like, okay, well, and then she laughed to herself, and she was like, okay, well, that is something that I want to do, but you're just gonna, and then she told me, she said, oh, so you're going to, you can't, you see how this is like kind of blackmail to me? My grandma said, you see how this is kind of blackmail? Like, oh, like things, and she said things happen, you can't, are you just really just gonna freak out and struggle every time something goes wrong in your life? And I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself like, holy shit, like this is so stereotypical. She's literally, I just said I was suicidal because of what's happening to my dog, and I asked if, because I was suicidal, can she now finally take him to the vet for even a free checkup? And she shamed me and humiliated me for feeling suicidal about Simon. And she said, like, she like chuckled to herself. She laughed, no, not chuckled. She laughed to herself. She like leaned back and, yeah, that's something I want to do. But are you really just gonna, for every little struggle, are you just gonna, you freak out like this? And you see what you're doing to me. You see how this is blackmail to me. So I said I was suicidal, and she said I was blackmailing her, and she like the narcissist. I've never seen somebody as narcissistic as my grandma. I thought my mom was the most narcissistic person I knew. And then I started paying attention to how my grandma is. And I see where my mom got it from. And I see where my sister got it from. And I see where my brother got it from. And I see where even a little bit of myself probably got it from. But I'm moving. I've moved past that, and I'm continuing to move past that. So she said, like, you see how this is like blackmail to me? You know, are you really just you're gonna freak out? You can't struggle about every little thing in your life. And I'm like hearing this, and she keeps going on and 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 on. And I'm like, can we please just take him to the vet today? Like, you're already in the car. We can just go home, take Simon, and take him to the vet. It's a free thing. We have time. You're already in the car. I can just go home, pick Simon up, put him in the car, we can leave. And she was like, no. Or she said, oh, well, we don't have time, or I don't have energy. And she continued to just shame me about me being suicidal, and said I was blackmailing her, and like insinuated that I was hurting her so badly. Or not, I wasn't hurting her, but insinuated that, like, oh, I'm making it so bad on here, and I'm just like, and everything's, and like, I'm just like, I'm the problem, right? And I'm like, I take her coffee, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, can we just take him to the vet? And I'm holding her coffee, and I'm like, I have it up in my hand. I'm like, she's like, give me the coffee, Liam. Like, give me the coffee, and I'm like, can we please just take him to the vet? Like, and then this is what makes me freak out. This is what pushes me over the edge, or my reaction to this is what pushes me over the edge. She says, like, and then she says the same thing or something so similar to what she said when I tried to get him taken to the vet the first time, and I threw the stuff in the plates in the kitchen and everything, and I threw the thing in her room, the shelf, the 1 foot shelf. She said, like, you know who else was yelling at you when we tried to take him to the vet? You know who else was yelling at you? You know who else was getting yelled at? Me. I don't want to get in trouble for this, or something like that. And she just continued going on and on, and I was just, that really pushed me over there. So I literally like threw the coffee, and I didn't throw it on her. Never threw it on her. You know, I just like I literally like was like, I threw it in the back seat. Coffee exploded in the back seat. Got a little bit on her, got a little bit on me. It exploded in the back seat. And she was like, oh my God. Or she didn't even really scream or anything, but yeah, geez, this is 3 hours and 12 minutes. I just threw it in the back seat. Threw the coffee in the back seat, exploded. And then and then she was like, okay, I'm getting home. And she started to tear up a little bit. Like, oh my God. Like, I can't believe this is happening. Why are you doing this to me? And I'm silent. I'm just silent. And I said, like, oh, hopefully you can take me serious now. Hopefully you can take me serious. And the whole time, you know, and meanwhile, like I said I was suicidal, you know, and all of my family knows how much I'm struggling. And nobody has once ever really, like, checked up on me. No one has once ever been interested in helping me, except for my mom, who is, like, super bipolar, and is like, oh my God, you're destroying yourself. Oh my God, I just want the best for you. Meanwhile, she does it both in a way of, like, hurting me and, like, trying to, like, manipulate me, but also, like, a bipolar type of way of, like, she genuinely thinks that I am the problem, and I am just destroying my life, and I'm destroying her life and everybody's life. And yeah, I throw the coffee in the backseat, and she drives home. And I'm like, she continues arguing, and I put in my earbuds, I put in music, and I could just hear her muffled sounds, her muffled screaming, rah, 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 through the music. I'm just like, and I just tense, and I pick up my coffee, and I don't want to throw my coffee because I still want to drink my coffee, but I'm like, I literally feel like a, you know, a rod, like an iron, like imagine like a rod, like not like one of those iron like that you brand things, like brand a sheep with or brand somebody with like at a ranch. Imagine like a smooth rod, like a smoothish rod, like a smooth point, not a dildo, but like a smoothish rod, a metal rod that's like this thick and like this long, this like 2 feet long. I feel it like as if like, and this is very specific, but I feel like that rod is like in my chest, and it's like heating up and it's turning red, like a smoothish, like round or round point metal rod is just in my chest, and it's like 2 or 3 inches thick, and like a foot or two long, and it's just like, imagine if that was like implanted into my stomach and chest. And as I'm hearing my grandma like yell, or not yell, say stuff in the background, and it's going through my earbuds, and I'm just like, and I'm literally just like, I can feel this rod heating up and just the anger building, and I just like, I'm like, I just try to stay with it. And I feel it building, and I feel it building, and I feel it building. And I just throw the coffee, because like I just feel the rod of just like pain and just rage building. I threw the coffee, like my hand literally moved like within 2 frames, my superhuman speed. I just threw the coffee in the back seat. It exploded, and it got a little bit of coffee on her, and it got a little bit of coffee on me, and that was the last violent thing that happened. So that was 4 occasions, all happened within a month or two. So yeah, that's just what I've been fucking dealing with, and I feel like I'm getting closer to snapping and killing somebody, or killing myself, or completely destroying the house. Which then are gonna get the cops called on me. Cops are gonna take me away. And then I'm probably gonna have to go to juvie, or I'm gonna have to talk to somebody. Hopefully, just if that ever happens, and I do, I'm probably just the first thing that's gonna happen is I'm just gonna either hit somebody, or like just completely trash the kitchen up, and trash the house up, or like trash the living room, kitchen area up, or my sister's room up. Hopefully, the best case scenario is that, because my mom, if something like that does happen, my mom is gonna call the cops. The cops are gonna take me away. Hopefully they take me to like this mental health, the urgent care, the same place, and hopefully they just take me more seriously. Hopefully I don't actually go to juvie or anything. But yeah. I guess that's the end of my monologue. My freaking. This is, but I still. This is something that always happens to me. The original reason why I wanted to create this video, I started talking about it, then I got sidetracked for like literally 3 hours. And now at the very end, I'm going to finish that thing. So remember what I was talking about 3 hours ago with the Vasi Lactiv thing? Well, this is just a thing that he sent me. And by the way, to finish up that thing, like, the main reason is because he cared for me, and he even went to the house, and just, I never told him about the abuse. I probably did tell him about abuse, but he just didn't believe me. And he went to my house, and my house seemed great, and like he said, like, and he could see like I was the reason why I wasn't going to school. Like he could see, like, because he knocked on the door in the morning. So he's like, "Oh, here, I'm here to take Liam to school." And my mom probably said like, "Oh yeah, he just doesn't want to go." And I said like, "Oh yeah, it's because I just don't want to go." And I was like, "Ugh, I'll do it anyways." Because at that time I was just so unaware of just all the abuse and why I didn't want to go, and how horrible my home was. So I probably just didn't really say to him. I didn't express it, which it wasn't really my job to express it, but it's not like I'm not at fault because I didn't express it, because I did say I did bring up examples to at least my counselor, and probably I did say stuff to Lactiv about I was going through a really tough scenario at home, and he probably didn't investigate it further. So I'm not gonna say like it was my fault for not expressing extremely like the abuse that I was going through. But I'm saying like he just, I guess like I I wish I was more vocal about it to him. But I'm saying like if I was in his shoes, I probably would have investigated more and actually tried to get me to try to actually figure out what was happening. But whatever. He was a good guy. Anyways, I just want to. So, anyways, the email I got this in 2023. Hello, Liam. I wanted to tell you that I see how hard you are working and dedicated you are to our school program and your own personal growth. Whether it's in the classroom, on the sports field, in an elective, or hanging out with friends, you're demonstrating joyful learning, collaboration, and LE pride. Leading Edge. That's the name of the school. Leading Edge Pride. Here are a couple of videos that I caught you in the act of being awesome. On a side note, I know you love sports, but you may have a future in entertainment. Please consider our PFA music and theater programs as you get ready for high school. You are funny. So these are two things, which are like these are activities. These two videos he sent me were activities that I did that were like in different classes that were like actually really cool and like I guess like we'll see. I'll see how it is. I think one I was like David. I was like I had a thing where like we were like did like a little. We were supposed to make like a skit or something of different celebrities, or like we acted like different characters, and I think I was David Goggins. It was like the different like table groups. It was like me, Allison, Camila, and who else was on the table? Was it Antonio? No, Harold. I think it was Harold. It was so I did David Goggins, Allison did Joe Rogan. Camila did DJ Khaled, and Harold did Gustavo Fring or something. I don't remember. So apparently, I just want to show this video because when I saw this video, I actually did like feel good about myself when I saw this, or not this one. Is it this one? But yeah, this is one of the times where I actually put myself out there. This is one of the times where I actually put myself out there, and I haven't seen this for a while, but like this is a time where I put myself out there, and I got actually positive support from this, so this is me. Apparently, I'm about to start acting like David Goggins or something. This is me right here. This is Camila. This is Harold. This is Allison, which is the girl I had a crush on. Like this is probably I don't know why I had a crush on Allison so much. I mean, she's very pretty. But, like, for some reason, I low-key still got a crush on her, just seeing her. I don't know why. But, I don't know. For some reason, she was, like, my first crush. And I fell for her so hard. But I was so nervous. So, like, I never actually asked her out. Or, like, said that everybody... And I told my friends. And my friend told the entire school. So she knew. Everybody knew that I liked her. And I think she like, it was so long, and I think she was into me, and she was interested, but I just didn't ask her because I was so embarrassed, and I didn't even look at her, but, and I think she even got in a relationship, because it just took me so long, but, like, she got into a relationship with someone from another school, I don't even remember, but it was just, oh my god, I had so much anxiety about every time I would look at her, because I just had such a big crush on her, and I was just never able to freaking say my feelings. But I regret that so much. I should have just... If I ever see her again, I'm going to ask her out, because I don't... Actually, not... No. I don't know. I'm not in a good position to be in a relationship. But if I ever see her again, I'm going to say... Because she goes to another... I think she goes to my friend Tristan's school. If I ever see her again... I'm going to be like, I'm basically just going to say, like, I had feelings for you or something. I don't know. But the point is, I was so nervous. I'd never been in a relationship before. It was like 8th grade. Like a year. This is not 3 years ago. It's like max 2 years ago. And yeah. Okay, anyways. If I ever see her again, I'm going to be like, I had a crush on you, and I just have to say that out loud. That's what I'm going to say to her, or I might ask her out. Um, Depending on if I'm in a state where I feel like I could be in a good relationship, in a state where a relationship could, I'm probably gonna ask her out no matter what, because I'm just gonna freaking be so freaking in love. And and the thing was, not, I didn't have like I didn't have an upset, like I wasn't stalking her or anything, but I literally constantly thought about her in school, when I was out of school, all, like, so much of the time. um I'm not even going to say any more than that. I'm not going to say any more than that. I know I was going to say all my intrusive thoughts. I got jerked off to the idea of her. Um, I jerked off to pictures of her, and I was always like, okay. Anyways, you know what? That, oh my god, I'm so proud of myself for I actually just said that shit. Yeah, I jerked off to pictures of her. Okay, like, that's something that, like, you probably already, everybody probably expected. That's probably normal, but, like, still, that's it's embarrassing, very embarrassing for me to say. Anyways, that's what this channel is, man. I'm gonna be honest, because, like, if I start being dishonest, or if I start really ignoring things that, like, I want to intrusive, like, it can, I don't want to get this on a path where I'm, like, really being performative or being, like, whatever. Anyways, I want to be honest. Anyways, so this apparently, this is apparently a thing or something. And I remember being, like, looking back on this and being proud of myself, especially because the principal reinforced it. Like, somebody else reinforced it and said that I did a really good job. So this was me in 8th grade. I had the most social anxiety. I always thought everybody hated me. I always thought everybody here thought I was a complete loser and made fun of me all the time, which is, like, partly true, but also mostly in my head. So anyways, this is apparently me being David Goggins. It's come for a lot of wolves traveling packs, but there are some times where even the wolves in the pack can't understand who you are. You can't hear it. They were traveling alone, shaping that rock they used to use. Sometimes even the baddest, toughest people on the planet don't have any idea what you're going through. That's fine. That's all right, because when you're on your own, when the enemy is unknown, when the distance is unknown, that's when you find yourself. Stay hard.
No, that's a strange, and very interesting observation.
Oh my gosh. What can I say? I'm a funny guy, dude. Dude. Okay, that was kind of cringe, but that was actually pretty cool. I know you couldn't hear it probably, but I was just, like, saying some stereotypical David Goggins lines, and I had the accent. Man, I just got emotions doing that. Or watching that back, because, like, maybe people didn't actually hate me. Whoa, maybe people actually thought I was a little bit funny, or maybe everybody was just laughing at me because they could see that I was social anxiety, and they were just laughing at me right there because they were just laughing at me, and everybody was making fun of me in that moment. Probably not, though, or probably small, if that probably is, like, a small part, like a 1% of it, or like 10% of it, or like 20% of it. Okay, anyways. So that was the time I put myself out there, man, and it felt scary in the moment, but I did it. I did it. But I did it. Yeah, it was cool watching that back. And this is also another thing, which apparently I think I remember this is like dance fighting or something. I liked doing this. Like we had like a 15-minute thing where like some teacher came in. It was like Mexican dance fighting, where like you dance with another person, but you pretend like you're fighting. And you like dance fighting moves with each other. It was really cool. And it's kind of like pro wrestling now that I think about it, and that I've thought back on it. So this is me. And this kid and this kid are I know it seems like I'm just like a freaking giant compared to, but I think these people were in a grade or two lower than me. It was like somewhere 8th graders, somewhere 7th graders, somewhere 6th graders. Okay, apparently I did some dancing stuff here. Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. I was hella uncoordinated. Okay, that wasn't that cool. But listen, but that was cool because like that was fun to do. But look, just pay attention. Like this is what I'm saying. Like I have coordination. I have my like when I say that like I literally have back problems. So like I literally can't feel my legs and I can't move the way I want to. This is what I mean. Just look at my movements here. Like I was trying to remember a dance, so it wasn't like, or remember moves of a dance, so it wasn't really. But look how like slow and like look how long it takes to like power up my movements in my legs, dude. Especially my legs. That was fire. That was fun doing that. But yeah, I guess I just had this, and I remember. I mean, I saw this. Apparently, this was a draft or something. I saw this in drafts in my school email. So. Yeah, I just wanted to say that in a video, or just get my reaction of watching that stuff, and just say that like back, especially in those days, dude, it was so hard to freaking. It was so hard because I just had so much social anxiety and rumination, and I was always ruminating and just like so much fear that everybody hated me, and I was just so, and everybody was making fun of me, like to the point where it was like I literally it was like every waking moment, not every waking moment, but so much of my day outside of school and inside of school was just really so fucking so 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 it was just so hard. Like I just always thought everybody was making fun of me and hated me. But yeah, I guess I don't think that's true. I realized that like that's not true, you know. And I thought everybody thought I was weird, and I thought I was weird. And I think what the reality is that I wouldn't know, people didn't hate me as much as I thought they did, and also I wasn't deserving of as much hate as I thought I was, and I wasn't really that weird as a person. I was struggling. I maybe did some weird stuff where I didn't have social cues, or I was struggling with so much. I am still, but I was still struggling so much without even knowing, without accepting what the struggle was really, and it was but I survived that. And yeah, I might be a little weird at school. I might be a little, I might say some wrong things or act weirdly, or be the weird kid or something. But um, like, of course, I'm going to be like that. I've been, with all this abuse that I'm going through and have gone through, and all this mental torture. So yeah, of course I'm going to be a little weird. Of course I'm going to be weird. And of course I'm going to feel and believe that I am weirder and that I am weirder than, and I'm going to, of course I'm going to feel and believe that, of course I'm probably going to feel and believe that I'm much weirder and I'm much more, and I'm doing, and everybody hates me so much more than they actually do. So yeah, it's not my fault. This is just, I guess this video I talked about a lot of things, but seeing those videos was really cool. And it's weird because you might watch that and be like, oh, he was always performative. He was always, he always was, but I never ever did stuff like that. Yeah, I never did stuff like that. I might have like talked, or like I might have been loud in class or something, but I never like put myself out there like that David Goggins thing, I would never was that type of, I always thought I was the annoying kid, and I always thought that's how people perceived me, and how I was being, but I never really was like that. I never was super annoying and put myself out there, like that video suggests. But I was kind of like annoying, and I was kind of loud, and I was kind of, but it's okay. That's of course I was. I've been dealing with so much shit at that time, and without even knowing, and blaming myself for so much of it. So yeah, it's okay. I love that kid I saw in that video, and I love the kid and all the thoughts that he has had, and all the thoughts that he does still have. I love you, Liam. I love you. I love you, Liam. Have an amazing life. I just talked in the mirror, by the way. Have an amazing life, death, and afterlife. Have an amazing life, death, and afterlife. Be safe. You got this. Keep going. You will find a way out. You will find a way out. Be safe. Keep going. We got potential, guys. Guys, girls, twinks, furries, trans, whoever you are, whatever you are. It's a freaking spectrum, dude. I don't even know who I am. Whether it be, sexuality, race, whether it be sexuality, race, whether it be beliefs, whether it be height, whether it be whatever. It's always, with anything, it's always on a spectrum. We're always somewhere on the spectrum. There's never been someone who is literally completely white, and there's never been somebody who is completely dark. Those things have never existed. Even the most albino person has never been completely white. Like, I don't believe. We're all a shade of brown. We're all a shade of mental. We're all a shade of height. We're all a shade of body. We're all a shade of gender. We're all a shade of everything. It's all a spectrum, and we got this. We're all a shade of thoughts. We all a shade of shamefulness of things we've done, of desires, of whatever. It's all a spectrum, and we all got this shit. And the more you struggle, the more you've been put in these things, man. Imagine the power that you will get when you get out of here. The hard part is now. When you get out here with all these thoughts and all these shamefulness and all this height or gender or whatever problems and worries and not knowing anything. When you've been through these struggles and you finally get to a state where you can actually get out of the worry or get out of the environment, imagine how much more strength and how powerful you will be because you got out of that environment and because you were able to do that and you were strong enough. And you were strong enough to do that. Imagine the superpowers you would have when you actually, when that rocket finally goes off. I love you so much. Remember that. Think about that, Liam. I love you so much. I don't even remember what I just said, but you know, I don't even remember the rocket ship. But yeah, I know what I mean. I love you so much. Have an amazing life, death, and next life. Bye bye.